Good morning, people. It is our favorite day here on TDA, okay? It's Friday, the 30th of September. It's the last day of September, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, wow. It's nearly Christmas, guys. It's Friday, the 30th of September. Welcome to TDA, the day after your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by, I'm not looking at you, Yusuf, by the culture. I thought you were looking at me.
Oh, no.
But yeah, you have amazing lit hosts. We're in a great mood this morning. Should we introduce ourselves?
You made me think, do I have to buy you lot Christmas presents?
Yeah. I think we should do like a Secret Santa situation. I can't afford 5 presents. So I think we'll mix up the names.
I don't celebrate Christmas, but I sell gifts.
Boy, bye.
It's a recession, man. I got to be frugal.
That's what I'm saying. We have one. We'll do a name in a hat.
Yeah, I like that. That works.
And then that way everyone picks one person.
Secret Santa.
Yeah, we'll do secret. I think, we'll do a Secret Santa.
Even if you get me, don't bring me no bean pie. Yeah?
Don't get me no book about being pro-black. Fuck that.
Here's the bean pie, brother.
Whoever E-Man gets is getting a book.
He's definitely getting a book. And I hope it's not me.
You're going to get how to eat to live.
Dead that.
By Elijah
No
Muhammad.
veganism, no books, no polygyny, no how to get married, nothing. I don't want nothing. Nothing but lifestyle from you.
That's all essential.
Or like he'll give you like a rock from like his ancestral home.
Oh, dear. Some sage and say shit like that. No. Because you know what is actually, we use an app in my family, where you can create a wish list. So just put like a bunch of stuff that you like and then they get you something. And we'll have like a limit.
Okay.
Like a price point.
What's the budget?
Anyway,
We'll do a young £30.
I'm your boy, Big Mark from the east side. You know what it is, 6 foot plus a pure temptation. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
All right then. It is your favourite shade queen, my own royalty.
I ain't done my AKAs in a while, so I'll just get them off today.
Yeah, let's go.
It's your boy Big Man Use, aka The Oracle, aka Mr. Rotations, aka The Voice of Reason, aka the second in attendance, soon to be first.
Seems to be fair.
And knock me out my position. Oh, damn. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
I thought you had a whole...
That's
Okay.
what I
I haven't had the voice of reason in a while, so that was nice to hear.
And they call me, man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst. Of course, the melanin is jam-packed.
Always. Absolutely always. How is everybody doing this lovely morning?
Sorry, just to correct something that somebody just said. It's 5 gifts because I'm not involved.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
there's 5.
It's 6, sorry. I meant 6.
Yeah, because they think that Koi's not coming back because of the 5. It's because I'm not involved.
Sorry.
No,
It's
there's
my
5
maths.
people in the room.
Yeah, yeah.
So she was assuming...
Yeah, no, but this
Yeah.
person assumed that it was because of Koi.
Oh, because of the 5 people in the room. Oh, no. I meant my maths is just off. Got A though, but my maths off.
Well, does Koi deserve a gift? She hasn't been here for a while. that was a joke, people. Why are you lot so silent?
Can you imagine you get caught here?
I'll get Koi. Here's a book on commitment.
Your attendance sheet. That's crazy. Now, that is too funny, man. But yeah, how's everyone doing today?
Yeah, all good, you know.
Yeah, all
all
good.
good.
Good stuff. So
I feel like Esther's stunting on us with this Just Hype.
thank you.
She's starting you.
It's like-
You.
On y'all.
Not on me.
He got his motions, so does Mark. It's y'all.
Matter of fact, I even gave her tracksuit away.
Oh my
yeah,
God. Oh my God.
Do not kill me about that. You wasn't right next to E man. You could have given it to E man.
No, it's not Iman's size.
No, we're like
Fair.
the same size though.
Nigga, you a medium at best.
You know, what's bad is that I feel like I need to watch this clip back because I feel like Brent probably zoomed in on
To be
E
fair,
man's arms.
the tracksuit I gave away, I was going to give
Yeah.
to Brent.
Okay.
But someone got to my house first and took it.
Brent was never going to get to your house first to get the...
No, I was going to bring the tracksuit for Brent yesterday.
Oh, so they got took.
Yeah, because the woman gave me 2 of the same tracksuit.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I didn't realise.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's all right then. Oh, that's fair. What colour was that? The blue one?
Blue one. The one she gave me when we were leaving, I thought it was a blue one without a zip.
Oh.
I thought, okay, cool. One with a zip, one without a zip, but it was with a zip as well. So when I go home, I was like, oh, this is the same thing.
Okay.
I thought Brent's my size, so I'll get to Brent.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Brent, I'm sorry.
Brent, sorry. That is too funny. So yesterday I had a nice experience.
Okay.
So basically, right, you guys know what a pick me is, right?
Yeah.
So for the listeners who are listening who don't know what pick me is, typically a woman is called a pick me when it appears that she's auditioning for a man. So, for example, say there's like some kind of conversation going on about, you know, what men have done to women, for example, and the woman happens to be on the men's side, she tends to be tagged a pick-me. I don't subscribe to that label because I think a lot of people use it in the wrong way. So I think, say for example, there's 4 women in here, they're all, as in 4 including me, they're all saying something, and I'm like, actually, no, I don't really agree with that. I see from this perspective, I'll be branded a pick-me. So I don't really subscribe to that. I think people overuse it and they use it in the wrong way. However, I am a woman who will admit I am a woman of accountability. I'm a woman who can say, do you know, my mind has been open to new things. So yesterday, I experienced pick-meism first hand.
What, so you're saying it's a real thing?
It's a real thing, Margs.
Wow.
I believe in it now. It's a real thing. I think in the times I've seen it before, I've never really... It hasn't really stuck me. I'm just like, oh, do you know what? Because, do you know, I think one of the issues we have in society, I think some women hate men. And I think they hate men, but they're in denial about their hatred for men. So they try and mask it under like wanting good things for women, like wanting equal rights and wanting better for women in society, but they don't look within to see where that passion and sometimes venom is coming from. So while you guys are at therapy, you know, because while you're in therapy, you know, I love that we're all, you know, people are doing that these days. I think that is one thing to address. I think while you're addressing, you know, your childhood trauma and all the past relationships or whatever, you need to, not necessarily because it might become from a bad place, I just think it's something to reflect on. It might be a case where, you know, you think you're just doing the Lord's work, but actually you might need to reflect on why is it that you feel as passionately for this as you do. So, yeah, so that's why I never really subscribed to it. But yesterday I did experience it firsthand. I was in a room where I felt like, I wouldn't say all the women because there was one girl who saw what I was saying. But I was in a room where I said, damn, like I've never seen people audition. Like, you know how actors, when they first start out, they're starving for the roles. Like they're dying for it. They're auditioning their asses off. I don't even think those actors are auditioning the way women are auditioning currently for men. It was absolutely shocking. So I went on a podcast and there were some things that were said here, and it was like a relationship takes 2 years, but there was so much onus on like women and like what women can do to essentially, I guess, so there's so much onus on women not creating the right environment so your man doesn't mess up, ignoring the fact that he might mess up because that's a flaw on his end. So something, for example, like a guy, you know, a guy lying to you, for example, yeah. They're like, well, if you didn't do this as a woman, blah, 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 then he wouldn't need to lie to you. So regardless of whatever it is, yeah, the onus is on the woman. Some girl even said that you see how there's guys who are shy and they're not very confident to approach women. She said it's women's fault. She said because women, we don't make guys comfortable enough to feel like they can approach us. And I said, I can understand that if a guy feels like you're nervous or whatever. Do you get me? I can understand that. But someone is shy from birth. Why am I in it? What did I do? So it was very, very interesting conversations. I also learnt, I think, Brent, you know this. I've been working on my patients quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yesterday Jesus is proud. Jesus is so proud of me right now. Because I was in such a position where I had to sit down and think, is this worth it? Is this worth it? Like, so I really exercised patience that I did not know I was capable of exercising because I had to pick you know when you just think there's no point. There's no point. You gotta pick your battles. One of the most interesting things to me as well was that they said basically, so say for example, a man cheats and the woman decides, so they've got kids, they've been married, they've got kids, whatever. So say he cheats, and the woman decides, you know what, I can't do this, and she divorces him. She is the reason for the family breakup. Not the guy cheating. Not him knowing that his wife wants, you know, monogamy and loyalty and whatever. Like, they failed to address the fact that he's put her in a position where she feels that, you know what, I'm not going to be helpful in this. So for them, they were very much on the stance of, once you have children, life is not about you anymore. And so if you break up your family because your man cheated on you, he did something like cheating on you, because that's nothing apparently. It's a selfish thing for you to break up the family, and you're the reason why, and they completely ignore the fact that he put us in this position.
Don't shoot me, Esther, man, but I kind of hear them.
Of course you do. Of course you do. I'm not surprised by that. Of course you do, because
a wise man once said, no good marriage ended because of cheating.
Are you the wise man? You're quoting yourself?
No, Gary
okay.
Owen.
Gary Owen, the white guy.
Yeah.
That was with the black woman, and that was his brand, and then now he hasn't got a black woman anymore, and his black children.
Oh no, he's definitely got a black woman. He's just a new black woman.
He's got a new black woman.
Yeah, he don't do white. That's
crazy, man. That's a topic of another day. That needs to be addressed on another occasion.
Why?
I just think it's weird.
What, that he dates black women?
Yeah, he really auditions for black acceptance.
That's his flavour.
That's great. That's a sickness. But so I just found that very interesting. It was very, very weird. The conversation was very, very weird to me. And I just thought that's so sad.
Happiness and stuff for family and that. Like, there's a lot of people who stay together for their kids, and then when they turn 18 and that, they leave. That's quite common in the world, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is quite common. But I think for me, I just look at that and I just see struggle, and I don't like any form of struggle whatsoever. Again, I think I've said on here as well that I don't believe in staying in anything for the case of anything else. Like, I'm not going to stay with you for Jesus. I'm not going to stay with you for the kids. I'm not going to stay with you for anything. I will assess the situation and see what works best. There's no point me staying in a marriage where I actually feel miserable. And as much as I can pretend and act to my children like everything's fine, there's sometimes you release things subconscious you don't realize. And then that then affects my children. And then, I was presented with but if you leave and you break up the home, your children are more likely to be this and more likely because of single parent family and blah, 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 blah. That's fair enough, but I can't. The way my life is, I'm here for Jesus, of course, but like, I am my life. Do you get me? Like, this me is just me. So I owe it to me for me to be the best version and have the best version of life that I possibly can have. And that does not include doing anything for children or doing anything for family. Because he should have thought of that about the family.
Don't you think
when he cheated?
Don't you think raising your children is doing something for you as well?
It definitely would be doing something for me, but for me, I can't neglect how I feel solely for my children's needs. I think, if your man cheats on you and it makes you miserable, but you stay with him just because of your children, your children going to be in therapy in the future. There's things that you're passing on, that there's things your children are seeing, even if you're not arguing in front of them or whatever. There's a way you're behaving towards your children that will affect them and shape the way they see relationships.
I agree with you, yeah.
But it also affects
dangerous.
a lot when their parents get divorced and stuff.
Exactly, that's the part.
It does, but you know what? It's like, either way, there's stuff that's going to happen.
But what's worse?
For me, what's worse is it's affecting my children anyway if I stay, and then I'm also unhappy. I cannot live a life where I'm not in something because I actually want to be, and I'm in something under duress, and duress is my children.
Could you make yourself unhappy for the happiness of your kids?
It depends what it is. Not if it's in the hands of someone else. So not if it's in the hand of my husband. Say, for example, I have to, like, I want to be a present parent, for example. So that means that career-wise, there's certain goals I can't hit. I can make I can do that. I can do because I know it's going to benefit my children. Okay. But if it's like my happiness is in the hands of somebody else, as in like, so my husband. So I'm here unhappy, and I'm hoping every day I'm paranoid about him cheating on me again. But because of my children, I'm staying in this. That is a piss poor life, in my opinion.
So you think him? God forbid this won't be your reality, but
I'm leaving anyway. So yeah.
But you think him cheating on you, for example? This is just say he cheated on you once.
Yeah.
That's just now you unhappy. What, like, today you was happy with him, you lot was doing everything, all the beautiful things that that you guys are doing. You find out he cheats on you today, and tomorrow you are now the unhappiest person on the planet. You need to leave.
I'm unhappy from the moment I find out. But you know, this is what I was trying to say to them as well, is that it's about how I see commitment. Commitment is a big thing for me. When I tell people, like, do not lie to me, I will end relationships with anybody. If I feel like the trust there is broken, that is it's what I hold very valuable. Yeah. So for me, if I'm in a marriage, in a relationship, you're valuable to me. If you break that, that's a big thing for me. There's probably other things that you could do that I might be able to stomach, and other women will be like, oh, yeah, like that will be their breaking point. But for me to catch you in that kind of situation, like I know what I think of relationships. I know what that commitment is. Like it's such a big thing for me that once that is broken, I can't say, boy.
Great question in the comment section.
Yeah.
How about you men? If the woman cheats in your marriage, would you stay for the children?
I don't know why this perception of like, obviously men always pretend that they can't take cheating. Men take cheating more than women. Men take their partners back more than women, bro.
So you would? How about you, Manuel?
No.
Me, no.
But isn't that breaking the family?
I don't care.
Thank you, Yusuf. I appreciate that. Iman, isn't that breaking the
I
family?
think it's different though because it may sound a bit hypocritical, but I think
A bit.
Yeah, I mean I don't mind if it does, but I'm just saying, like I just feel like when men cheat and when women cheat, they're different things. That's just how I see it potentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the ramifications are different when a different person cheats. And also, yes, you can break up the family, but you can also form another family with somebody else. So it depends on how the people who are involved and things of that nature. Innit?
These men are fronting. Everybody telling me I'm capping. I've seen it. I've seen too many men do it, and the man can't take embarrassment. So maybe when it gets into the public, then all right, cool. They're gonna take that stance as a man.
Yeah.
But when they can keep things behind closed doors in their house, they put up with pure fuckery. Enough man are like glad clan, holes in the walls. I see it all the time. Man, then stop pretending that you are bad like this because you're not. They will take their gal back. They all do it.
Yeah.
But
I think there's a lot of guys
I haven't seen any examples of it, so I don't know.
I'm telling you now, if your situation is in your house, in them four walls between you and your gal, you are having a conversation. If it's open public, then it's different. You're gonna act different about it.
Nah, the thing is, I get what you're saying, but for me, it's not about whether or not people know about it. I know it's happened. This is affecting my marriage internally. It's not about if the public knows or my friends know. Like, I know.
And that's my thing too, Yeah, because I can say like I want to say with you for the children, but I'm still feeling what I'm feeling. I'm still feeling that betrayal. So as much as I love my children, and I'll be honest with you, that love is not what it can keep me going, but it's not going to keep me going to the point where this marriage will be what it used to be. But again, I just think everyone's got different breaking points. You know what I mean? Some people can be embarrassed by their man in public and that's nothing to them. That's just like a walk in the park, really. But that is just a different situation.
And also,
man.
Does it depend on the age of your children? Because this whole premise is stay together for the sake of the children. What if my children are old enough now? Like my children are 16, 17, 18.
Oh yeah, now when they're old enough.
Versus if they're 5, 6, 7, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
when they're teenagers and they're old enough, that's not saving nothing.
Yeah, but there are kids who like even they can be in their 20s or whatever and their parents get divorced and that still affects them. So my thing is that either way, the man has committed this act that is going to rock up the family in one way or another. Or I might stay with you, your kids might find out and think you're a disgusting piece of shit. It's either way, the family is rocking up. So guess what I'm doing? I'm picking happiness with the rocks that we're being faced with.
You know what it is, I'm only going to talk from my perspective, innit? Growing up, I wanted my parents to get divorced. Like, I used to pray for it, bruv. Like, because I never liked my household, never liked my father. I do now, but back then I didn't really. The idea of my parents getting divorced was like freedom for me. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So even with that put aside, as a 20-year-old, like, you're a grown person. Yeah. I don't see, like, obviously everyone's different, innit? But if you're a certain age, I don't feel like your parents getting divorced should affect you severely. Yeah. In my opinion. I may be wrong, right? At a certain age, yes. When you're between the ages of, I don't know, 6 and 10, 12, whatever, I can get it. But when you're 20, I don't think it should have a detrimental effect on you. Yeah. In my opinion. I think that's just coming from my mindset because obviously growing up, like I said, you know what I mean?
I guess it's one of those things where it's different for everyone involved, man. And like, as much as I may not necessarily agree with Esther's viewpoint, right? I respect it because I personally believe in freedoms and I believe in people having their thresholds for different things. I don't necessarily believe cheating is worse than lying or lying is worse than cheating, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I believe if it's the worst thing for you, then it's that bad, period.
There's a reason for that,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, no, I can't say, oh, you're your thing is worse than mine. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? So
and a woman or a man shouldn't be unhappy in a relationship just for the sake of their children. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Like,
all I see is jail.
We're all human beings. I'm a human being. My kids are also human beings. I shouldn't sacrifice my happiness. And what does this look like now? As a woman, you cheat on me. What, am I meant to just pretend to be happy forever?
Because the children are there.
That's going to affect my well-being, my mental health, my you know what I mean? Like my mood on a daily basis, but for the sake of the kids.
But I think it's because maybe we're thinking, someone gets cheated on and then that's the end of the world. Yeah. But I think, like Mark is saying, a lot of the time, with discussions, with time apart, with certain things occurring, you get, just like with death, you get over things. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to deal with the situation. You may not get over it completely and move on, but it's easier to converse and now deal with it.
I'm not saying don't try to work
on it.
If you want to. If you want to work at it, if you want to try and see if it can work, then go for it. Yeah,
but I'm basically saying that with that time, you may then say, you know what? Thinking about the fact that, you know what, as parents, your priorities have to change. Your duties now have to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say, oh, you know what, it's just about my happiness and this, that, and the third. There's people that depend on you that can't do anything for themselves.
Do you know what it is as well? I think what it is as well, my mindset is that me being a mother does not stop me existing. So because I have that mindset, like, for me, I really believe, that I have to be good for my children to be good. Yeah. If I'm not good mentally, if I'm not good emotionally, if I'm not good spiritually, I don't know of what use I can be to my children.
And I agree with you.
And so for me, if I'm in a situation that kind of, like, it's not like I'm going to up and leave. I'm going to assess the situation, because I don't also believe in staying with somebody and then I'm bringing up your sins like every other time. I don't believe in that. I think that's very toxic. That's even worse, in my opinion.
These conversations are dope, and obviously I can only speak for myself, innit? Yeah. Any experience that I've seen, I don't know any woman that's done one and done. If not, especially if it was in a good relationship, a bad relationship. If you're in a bad relationship and he's cheating on you, then get the hell out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think I've got one example of a woman who's done a one and done, like when the guy cheated and she just left, like just like. So these conversations are dope. It sounds cool to say all these things, but in real life is different. Yeah. And context is important, because cheating is not just linear like that. Who, where, and how are important. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, because it can make you feel different when you hear what happened.
But I've done it before that. I found out that a guy that I was exclusively seeing was seeing somebody else, and that was that. But I get that. But I get relationships different. I get marriages different. But that's why when I talk the way I do, is because, again, I know what, for me, your word is. Yeah. So when you break that, this is just how I'm wired. This is how God made me, and I believe it's for a reason. So for me, I can't, like, I get that obviously when you bring child life into the world, your duties to that child. Yes, because the child didn't ask to be here. Yeah, the child didn't ask to be here. I get that, and I understand. But really and truly, I will be of no use to my child if I'm not good, because there's people who've grown up in 2-parent households where the parents have been good and blah blah, but there's still issues, and you can't certain things in life you can't avoid. You can't prevent. Yeah. You can be the most present parent for your child and whatever, but your child was born with traits or characteristics or personality or whatever that means that they have some form of issues. Like, as much as you can try to be the perfect parent, it might not show in your child. So for me, there's no point me staying there and being like, you know, I'm doing this for my children. Then my children end up growing up and they have their own issues anyway. Yeah. So what was I doing? Just jail sentence unprovoked. Out, man.
I think it's good that everyone's got their I think basically what I'm trying to say is everyone's viewpoint right now is their standard. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like Mark said, sometimes when you're in that situation, you start to think differently. But I think it's good you come in with those standards. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, you just pick whatever's important to you, man.
I mean, if you got Kevin Hart money or like Jeff Bezos money,
what does that mean?
I'll definitely have to plan my strategy. I'm not just leaving up and out. I have to plan my strategy.
Then I get anyway, yeah.
For the sake of money, though. So I don't really love you. So you should still be scared of me.
Sometimes you can walk in ignorance, and ignorance is bliss, yeah? Because someone said, has it a good relationship if your partner's cheating on me? Do you honestly believe that you can't be in a good relationship if someone's cheating? Because if you don't know, you can't, like, do you believe that's true?
I think if you don't know, what you don't know won't hurt you. But I think if you do know, for me, this is no longer, like, you could be the best husband ever. I find out you cheat. Honestly, you've gone down on the score point for me, because what made you good, part of what made you good was your loyalty, was your honesty. Now that I know that there's dishonesty, you're not as great as I thought you were.
Because obviously it's going to spoil things. It's going to taint.
Yeah, but if I don't know, well, I don't know, don't hurt me. I'm still living, saying my man is everything. But alas.
There's people in the comments. I'm just letting you know, you can be in a good relationship and your man be cheating on you. I'm just letting you know that. Because there's bad relationships. There's people that are down bad. There's people in bad relationships that ain't getting cheated on. No, there's people in really bad relationships that ain't getting cheated on, though.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a word. Gotta leave those two. Yeah, man. All right, let's get into our first headlines.
Yeah. To give an update on what the polls, the Treasury, and even Nicola Sturgeon are basically saying. So the polls have moved sharply in favour of Labour and away from the Tories since last week's mini-budget. There have now been 7 polls published with fieldwork dates starting on or after 23rd of September, several of them as recent as yesterday afternoon and evening. YouGov, Survation, and Redfield and Wilton reported Labour with a 33-point lead, a 21-point lead, and a 17-point lead, respectively. This is basically the best Labour has performed since 2001. Mm-hmm. The Treasury Select Committee, which is chaired by senior Tory Mel Stride, has called on the Chancellor, Kwasi Kwarteng, to publish the Office for Budget Responsibility, OBR, the forecasts, as soon as possible and well before the scheduled date of the 23rd of November. Stride says the failure to publish the forecast has led to the unfortunate impression that the government may be seeking to avoid scrutiny. Also, during the Conservative leadership campaign, Liz Truss called Scotland's First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, an attention seeker, who's probably best ignored.
So childish.
At least when it comes to demanding an independence referendum. But today, in more, humble tones, Truss basically said she's keen to work with Nicola Sturgeon and even suggested Sturgeon should follow her lead with tax cuts that could turbocharge Scotland's economy. But this is what Sturgeon said on Twitter in response to that. She said, "It's hard to know what to say to the suggestion I should mirror policies, tax cuts for the richest that have sunk the pound, that have crashed the mortgage market, that have pushed pensions to the brink, imperiled public services and forced the Bank of England bailout. What planet is the PM living on?"
Is it possible for her party to vote her out?
Sturgeon or Truss?
No, Truss.
It will be one of those confidence things.
Because I think I saw an article somewhere talking about like the no confidence and people not really trusting her ways. Mm-hmm. And someone was tweeted, someone was like, "Wow, Liz is she's really something." They were like, she's become Prime Minister, killed the Queen, got the pound down, and she might get taken out all in one period cycle. That's wild.
Is there an election in November?
No, not in November. It's just they're meant to release the OBR forecasts, basically.
Okay.
So that
when is the next election?
I think
2024, isn't it?
24, yeah.
I don't think it's gonna last until then.
What, Liz Truss?
They may bring it forward, man. Yeah, if things are bad, innit?
I like Liz, man. Because it's just having fun.
Why you like her?
Do you know? It's because I've seen the old videos of her. Yeah, where she just talks like. Just says what she's saying.
When she was a young
yeah, it's like, well, get rid of the monarchy, man. It's like she's up in Buckingham Palace shaking the Queen's hand. She's jokes.
All right. So the second headline takes us back to Russia. And Sweden have found a new leak in Russia's gas pipeline. So Sweden has found a new leak in a major undersea pipeline carrying Russian natural gas to the EU, making it the fourth leak discovered this week. Denmark and Sweden reported gas leaks in the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines earlier this week. NATO said the incidents were probably the result of deliberate, reckless and irresponsible acts of sabotage. Russia has dismissed the suggestions that it has attacked its own pipelines as predictable and stupid. Instead, the Russian foreign minister said the blasts have occurred in zones controlled by American intelligence. The German ambassador to the UK, Miguel Berger, told the BBC that it was clear that a non-state actor could not have been behind the incidents. In other words, a country must have been responsible. The Swedish Coast Guard said they had found a fourth leak on Nord Stream 2, which is very close to a larger leak found earlier on Nord Stream 1. The EU has repeatedly accused Russia of using gas supplies as a weapon against the West in retaliation for its support for Ukraine. And that's the end of the headlines.
When you said a new leak, I don't know why in my mind I thought it was about being someone snitching.
No.
It's crazy. All right, well, let's get into a word on road. Let's switch it up today. What'd you say, babes?
Oh no, I just said, is it? We're switching it up.
Yeah, we're switching it up. We're switching it up today. So okay, so Lil Uzi Vert, yeah, so he's currently going out with one of the city girls, JT. And obviously when the relationship first started,
Sorry, what?
Lil
What's her
Uzi, Jatavia.
Okay, no.
Yeah, JT. Young Miami is Carisha.
I didn't know that was a real name, you know.
Yeah, Jatavia. I really like
That's
it.
what JT stands for.
That's what JT stands for, yeah. Jatavia.
So you can get two initials for one name.
Yeah. It's like you get like TJ and stuff.
Ain't they
What's
like
Tunde Junior.
What's TJ?
Yeah.
What's TJ?
No, but that's
What's the name for
two
TJ?
names.
two names?
Okay. They count.
That's like saying MT for Martin. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't do
Okay,
that.
yeah, but okay, I'm Esther. I get called Est.
That's free.
Yeah, you get the point. I can't
but
think.
you know-
That's like
And S
It's not
is not initial.
EP.
That's a short word. S is not initial.
No, but sometimes people call me S though, as in ES. I know it sounds like I'm making it up. But I
No.
promise someone actually.
No. They're saying S as in ES.
Yeah, so like
No,
it's
but
because it's part of my name.
but they ain't saying yo ES. They're saying yo
Yeah.
S.
Oh yes, because it's JT. What do we just say? Jut, do we? Yeah, it's JT. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's a jut.
But yeah, so JT, one of the city girls, so she's going out with Lil Uzi Vert. And I remember when it came out, this is who her man was. The city girls, we were a bit shy for her because we just felt like you talk a lot. Okay, not that there's anything wrong with Lil Uzi Vert, but it's just not what I saw. So you see how Carisha is, going steady with dating Diddy. That's more on brand
Okay.
than Lil Uzi Vert. Like you're dating a man who got a pink diamond in his forehead. Like it wasn't really making sense. But they've been together for I think over a year now. It's like a whole thing. So the community have accepted it. It's great. But anyways, so she must have posted. I just thought this was absolutely hilarious. And Brent will put the picture up. It's just so funny. So she tweeted. She said, "My boyfriend loved to rig up a meal for me. It's so cute. But today he almost burned our place down and didn't flinch." And then it's just a picture of him just standing in front of it. He's just looking at it. And then she said, what did she tweet? And after that, she tweeted, "No, yo, his mood really didn't change. He watched it all go out." Then she posted another picture where the fire is like a lot less than it was the first time. And then she posted a picture of the meal. She said, then boom, and there the meal was. And I found it funny because he's a walking meme. Like, what's his name? Lil Uzi Vert, he's a babe. Like he's a bad bee. He's such a bad bee. Like his mannerisms, everything, absolutely love it. But I just thought it's absolutely hilarious and it's cute. I think the relationship is now. I like it now. I think they're cute together. They're both little people. No, don't say that. They're both short.
If you caught your man doing that, wouldn't you think he's like mentally stunted or something?
Yeah, but Lil Uzi Vert, I don't think he's all the way there.
That's dangerous.
Is this picture staged or something?
Margs, I think it's staged.
I don't think it is.
Because
How can you get alcohol all the time? How can the fire? What is that? What did he do? What was he making?
A couple of weeks ago at his birthday party, that's when it all started, right? When he was acting so nonchalant to the gift. That's kind of the first image that went out of him being so nonchalant within their relationship, right?
Nah, because that's why I'm saying that this is very on brand because there's other stuff that he does. Like this is how he is. I think there's stuff that when they've gone shopping as well and she's doing something, he's just like she just takes a picture and he's just there. Like he just exists. And I remember like this is what I'm saying, like there's even like memes of him like with this same character. So it makes sense to me.
I'm finding it hard to believe that he saw the fire, he just stood there, and she walked into the room to find him like this.
No, she was in the kitchen with him.
I don't know. It just seems a bit staged.
I don't understand how. What was he making? Sorry.
I'm not sure, but it ended up. I saw prawns on the thing. It looked like what is it? Like a wrap, prawn wrap. It burnt the prawns up.
A prawn wrap set fire like that.
The prawns look very well done, so I think they did burn. I think that was real. They look very smoky. But yeah, and then next as well. So yesterday I talked about the PNB Rock situation. So the guy that was at large, the father, he's actually been arrested, and a third woman as well. She's been arrested in connection to somehow the murder. So they've basically got 3 people in custody now, and I will let you guys know how the court case and all that kind of stuff goes. I just wanted to give you an update on that. And then next as well is the actress Hayden Panettiere. So basically, she was married to a boxer. What's his name? Vladimir Klitschko. Do you guys know who he is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is he really like big in the boxing world?
Yeah, he was. He's retired now. He's one of the legendary heavyweight champions.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, get yours. Okay, well, she can't really get hers.
He's the one AJ beat for his titles.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, a few years back.
Oh wow, big up AJ then. Say black excellence. But yeah, so basically they were together. They got a daughter, and she's basically struggled with substance abuse. And she's come out. She spoke about it before. She had an interview on Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett and Jada's mum. Don't know her name. And Kelly Osbourne was a guest. I guess she was sitting in for Willow. I think it's weird, yeah, how Willow is in those conversations.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you in grown people's business. Don't you have homework to do or something? Like, why are you... And she sits and she probably reacts. I'm thinking... I think because I was raised differently. Do you get me? Like, in the way I was raised, when adults are talking...
Yeah, keep your mouth closed.
You should not be anywhere near the conversation. This is really on the table, like, participating in the conversation. Anyway.
She's 21.
Them Smith kids were raised different.
Yeah,
though,
21
man.
is... Yeah, they're definitely raised different. But 21, even then...
Yeah, that's still young.
Even now, yeah, sometimes when my aunt and my mum are talking, obviously, like, I can chime in now. I'm an adult, but I still feel like, like overstep kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she's in there growing people's business, not knowing what to... Anyway, yeah. They raise their kids, interestingly. But yeah, so she's opened up about, struggling with alcohol. No, it's actually substance abuse issues. And she said it started when... So she's a child star. And she said it started when she was 15. And basically, she had to do press tours... press runs for Heroes. She was on Heroes. And she said basically, they said she wasn't upbeat enough. Someone said she wasn't...
Hold on, what's her name?
Hayden Panettiere.
I used to watch Heroes.
Yeah, she's I think she's an elite white babe. She's actually one of my favorite white actresses.
Hayden Hayden used to go with Klitschko. That's a random...
Oh, the little cheerleader.
Yeah, that's a random. That's a very random couple,
Yeah, very. When I saw him, I said, "Oh, wow."
Yeah, that's random,
Yeah,
innit?
they're married.
That is
What?
so
Yeah,
random.
yeah.
Claire,
Yeah,
man.
this is crazy.
Back to self one,
Oh, she's kind of breasty though, isn't it? Let me see.
as in tits.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were filming me. Sorry.
Why would we? Do you know what? I can't. Your mic is out here on mute. You're saying you don't know, but yeah. So she went on. She talked about so she was on set for she was on press runs for Heroes, and someone said to her, basically they said that she wasn't upbeat enough and she needed a bit more energy. But obviously, sis been press run talking all the time. So anyway, someone suggested she takes a happy pill. And she said at the time she didn't think anything of it. She just like, okay, then like, that's cool. And then she took it and she said that's where it kind of opened the floodgates. And that's when she then became addicted to like drugs and alcohol and stuff. And she did say that, with their daughter, she didn't drink, obviously during pregnancy and whatever. But she said also it was kind of triggered after she gave birth to a child, postpartum depression. So that also triggered it where she kind of basically was just found herself drinking a lot. And she was saying how it was weird because people knew that she was battling stuff, but they were more concerned at the fact that it was alcohol, that she was drinking a lot, rather than the fact that she had postpartum depression, which is the thing that tends to, it gets overlooked quite a bit. So she was talking about that. And she was basically saying how with their child, the situation with her daughter, so he said to her, so obviously he's from Ukraine, right? Yeah, he's from Ukraine. She lives in America. So basically what happened was he told her while she was dealing with what she was dealing with, I guess they gave her to a child in 2018. He basically said, the child will go back and forth, visit the dad, visit her, that kind of stuff. And then one time the child went to visit him and then he basically called her and said, yeah, by the way, I want full custody. She's not coming back to you, kind of thing. So she's kind of blindsided by that. And she said she felt like she didn't really have a choice but to agree to it. And because of where she was anyway, she thought, okay, do you know what? I'll sign the papers. Let me go and get better, because she went to rehab. Let me go and get better. And then when I'm in a better place, obviously, then I hope I will see my child. So she's a lot better now and everything. And she said basically he's not allowing her to see the child.
But
he's not allowing her. He's not allowing the child to come and visit her. Yeah, so she's from California. So the only way she sees the child is if she goes there. So the child hasn't spent any time, as in like a sleepover or anything like that, with her. And so she was saying how it's sad because he believes he's doing what's best for the child. But she was saying how he was always on the road and always working. He never saw what she was like as a mother. So she said how even during her substance abuse and whatever, she never ever put her child in danger. So he actually doesn't know what she's like as a mother, which is why in his mind, he thinks he's doing the best thing for his child. And he's not understanding that children need their mothers. Do you get me? And he said how she said one time he called her and he was basically saying how the child keeps asking people, like random women, if she can call their mummy. And he was laughing about it. And she was trying to explain to him, like, listen, this is traumatic for her, not having a mother. Like, clearly she's now seeking a mother figure in every woman that she meets. And it's not, this is something that we need to sort out kind of thing. But apparently he's not someone who believes in like the whole, like the mental illness and all that kind of stuff and like trauma and stuff. So he's just thinking, he just thought it was a joke. And she's trying to explain to him, but she was like how someone like that who, when their mindset is the way it is, you can't make them see the light. You can't make them understand that. So very, very sad news. And she talked about as well how, when all of that stuff happened, like the way the press was getting at her. So obviously people didn't know the full story. And people were like, oh, you're abandoning your daughter. And she was like, there was a magazine one time whose front page said why Hayden decided to abandon her child and what she left her child for. So she was like, even reading all of that stuff was heartbreaking when she knows that she wants to be back in her child's life. So hopefully there's something that can be done and she's able to come back to some kind of arrangement. Because the child does need her mother. And I think it's a good thing as well that she gets to visit. So she was recently in Ukraine anyway, but she said she's had to leave obviously because of the war. And whatever, but she's still in Europe just so she can be as close as she needs to be. So very sad news, man, but hopefully they can get that figured out. And then the last bit of news for me is about DJ Akademiks, who, funny enough, actually, I have a newfound respect for.
What?
Yes, because I watched him on Breakfast Club, because I've always seen him as this, chipmunk-looking troublemaker. Like, I just feel like he talks too much. And you know how I feel about men that talk too much. So when I actually watched the interview, I got to understand him a lot more. I got to understand him a lot better because I respect people that work hard. I respect hustle. I respect people that understand that opportunities been given to them and they take advantage of that and they appreciate it. So he was saying how Charlemagne is his mentor. I did not know that from like day one. And I think one of the reasons why what even helped him with this journey was that Charlemagne agreed to do an interview. So Charlemagne was like kind of his first interview. And that kind of opened up opportunities for him and stuff like that. So it was actually nice for him to see. And even till this day, like he gets advice from Charlemagne and all that kind of stuff. So, and Charlemagne tells him the absolute truth. Because obviously he had a whole thing recently with Regine and, T.I. said we need to meet up in his T.I. manner. So he's been in the news quite a bit. But anyway, this is about the baby. So obviously the baby, we're following his cancellation. So his album has been predicted to sell like between 17K and 20 in a week. And apparently his first one was like 200K or something like that. So this is quite... a
drop off. Yeah,
just a bit. So basically Akademiks was basically saying how the reason for this is because the baby's been blackballed. And essentially he was kind of blaming Ebro for it. So obviously Ebro is the global head of hip hop and R&B for Apple Music. So he was basically saying how Ebro's had something to kind of do with it basically, and he's basically blackballed him. So he said, sorry, 1 second. He said, if you weren't the global head of hip hop and R&B for Apple, nobody will mention you. So I think he spoke on Ebro another time, and I guess people kind of on Twitter were going on about it, and then Ebro was kind of responding, and they had a back and forth. So he was basically saying to Ebro, he said, I'm confused. I'm old. This is what Ebro said, by the way. I'm confused. I'm old and irrelevant. No one listens to my shows. But why am I always being brought up by people who are more powerful and doing more for the culture as the reason things don't perform? Somebody's lying. Then he said, a playlist doesn't decide what is hot. What you, the consumer, skip past within a playlist is what you play all the way through decides what is hot. So basically, they're not in charge of the playlists and they're not in charge of what makes it. It's what consumers want, basically. So he's basically saying, you just cancelled the baby and now you're shocked that his sales are going to be what it is. He says, literally, any artist can put their music on any platform. Their fans can listen at their leisure. That behavior tells the truth. The playlist everyone wants to be in is called Rap Life. Clearly, it is the most legitimate and has, bona fide hits and new stuff. And he said, shout out Apple Music team for developing something that is clearly meaningful. And he said a radio station can play a song 100 times a day. Doesn't mean people will buy an album or concert ticket or even stream that song. A song can be first in a playlist. Doesn't mean the audience won't skip it. That is true, because I have skipped a lot first.
He's gassing though. If he's the curator of the playlist, they do have control of it.
They definitely do.
When they do stuff like where they put it in the playlist, how long they keep it in there for, or when they take artists and put their face on the thing. Like if you're plugged in with someone, you can get patent and they can do it so it's not good as well.
Yeah.
So he definitely does have some kind of control.
He knows exactly what he's talking about. He knows his gaslighting situation. He says the platforms see what you play and what you skip, so stop lying to yourself. And an academic said to him, if you weren't the global head of hip hop and R&B for Apple, nobody would mention you. It's not like it's not like everyone's reacting to you for the shit you say on your radio show. You just don't like that. You just don't like that now people can see beyond the veil of these playlists, especially at Apple, and you're the guy who's responsible for it. And then Akademiks said, I'm not writing for any artist in particular either. It's just principle. It can happen to anyone. We've seen it before. You gotta say something before it happens to your fave. And if I'm not wrong, I believe that at one point Nicki called this out as well. But to be fair, she did insult the DJs, so they kind of all band up against her.
My sympathy's capped with the baby, man.
Mine, yeah, definitely capped for me.
I'm done with him. And I used to like him so much. I see him punching man up and all that. I used to rock with the baby. And then it's not even because of what he said, because I don't even care about what he said, but it's just the stupidity. I just don't like stupidity. Man, I was on top of the world. And then you get what I'm saying? So I'm done with the baby. So I don't even care.
Yeah. Do you guys think there's truth though to what Akademiks saying?
About him blackballing him.
Yeah, he's been blackballed.
Yeah, probably.
I think yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Because that stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely possible. When you see a drop off like that,
that's wild, you know.
I mean, and even his show. Remember, he had a show a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
That they had to cancel due to low ticket sales.
I will say though.
Yeah.
Despite that though, the baby was actually happy about it. I missed his thing, his post, but I remember seeing on his stories he posted the 17K thing, and he was like, "Oh, like despite them trying to blacklist me, blah blah, still I rise." I said, "Well, if you think this is a win, King, you like it, I love it. From 200K to 17K, you think that's a win?
He's fronting for the net. Bro.
Go forth, King.
He ain't happy because he's before this he's looked upon as an A-list artist. You know what I mean? So for him to do 17K from doing 200 plus for his first album or whatever,
that's wild.
That shows a considerable drop off, isn't it? So he can't be happy about it.
And that's first week. He did 200K first week.
Yeah, he can't be happy.
Crazy.
Pretending.
Yeah, but we love a man that likes to see the glass half full.
and the thing is, you can tell he's desperate now because all the Meg stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently, he's got a video for that song, and he's got a Meg look like.
Yeah, I saw her.
It's just screaming, desperate, and you know what I mean.
And that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, you did all of that.
Yeah.
And you're still going to be what it is. Like all we did was just read the lyrics. We didn't even want to stream it because we're not adding to that. It's crazy, man. Hate to see it. Are we getting into the topic of the day? Headlines. Okay. Headlines next.
Can we have our guest join us, please?
Yes.
It's a little while till then.
Yo, bro, just jump in here.
And you can participate in the conversations. Yeah?
Oh, shit. Sorry.
One job. All right. Let's get into our headlines.
All right. Is the one I was saying is a bit mad, right? So 3 men have each been jailed for at least 29 years for the murder of their friend killed by rivals in a shootout.
You see young boys you talk about before?
Huh? No, this is different. I'll say that first thing again, yeah? 3 men have each been jailed for at least 29 years for the murder of their friend killed by rivals in a shootout. All right.
Oh yeah, I didn't clock that.
So the inquiry into Billy McCullough's death saw his associates charged with murder, even though an opposing gang shot him in northwest London in 2020. So Issa Seed, Adele Yusuf, and Daniel Mensah were found guilty after prosecutors argued they opened fire knowing their rivals would shoot back. Yep, it's thought to be it's thought to be the only conviction of its kind in England and Wales. The Old Bailey heard Mr. McCullough was a member of a violent street gang, which started a gunfight after travelling to Stonebridge Estate in Housden in the early hours of 16th of July 2020. Mr. McCullough was accompanied by 4 friends and armed with 2 guns when they arrived in the territory of their rivals. They intended to attack the other gang in response to their friend being fatally stabbed the day before. But the vehicle they were traveling in was shot at several times when they arrived in the rival territory. Sentencing the men, the judge told them Billy McCullough died a very public death, gunned down in a hail of bullets on the Stonebridge estate. I accept that the three of you never realized you would end up in the dock accused of Billy McCullough's murder. But anyone in this country who willingly participates in a gun battle in the street should not be surprised if the law holds him accountable for any loss of life as a result. Detectives used phones, CCTV footage, and forensic evidence to build their case, but they could not identify the people who fired the gun or guns that killed Mr. McCullough.
I was talking about this the other day, yeah. This was crazy because, like, we was talking about, obviously it's mad, innit? But I understand the logic of the judge of, like, you brought someone somewhere to go and do something, they got killed, you're kind of responsible for their death. It's like if you drove someone to go and kill someone, you still get the murder charge, innit? You get what I'm saying? But the mad thing is, they're fully aware that the killer's out.
Exactly.
So that's crazy to me.
And then killer's out where?
Free. They can't find him.
So killer's at large.
Yeah.
But they've got 29 years each.
At large makes it sound like they're looking for him. He's
Oh, they're not looking for him.
no, he's blessed. His case is done.
Crazy.
But he shot and killed somebody.
Yeah, but they can't find him. So
And
it's
they
like-
arrested his friend. They arrested
his
the
friends.
friends for it.
So okay, someone shoots.
Esther, look, let me tell you what happened. Yeah,
Take me there.
Yusuf and E-Man, yeah, go up the road to go and ride out on someone, try to shoot them up on that. When we get there, our car gets shot up. One of us die, and then everybody that survived gets arrested for the murder.
This is wild. In this UK?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mad, innit?
this isn't end.
This is wild.
Yeah, man.
That is wild. I don't have any comments, mate.
Yeah, imagine that. So they're pissed. They're upset that their friend died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're grieving in prison.
For their friend's murder that they didn't do. Yeah, that's crazy.
29.
And 29 is wow.
I think there's maybe they need some kind of accountability, but I think a murder charge is unfair.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Maybe like possession of firearms,
Something. Yeah, but not
not like murder.
Nah, it's mad.
I didn't kill anybody. No one died as a result of the firearms in which I possess.
They died as a result of your actions, though, kind of.
Someone was gonna get shot, man.
It's weird.
Because the people they shot back, didn't they?
Who?
Yeah,
The guys in the car?
Yeah, so did they shoot first? The guys that have been jailed now, did they shoot first?
it was a shootout. I think they both shot on both sides.
Exactly. So everyone knew the risk here, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
To be honest, they couldn't catch the other ones, so they were like, "Yeah, let me get these ones."
Yeah, but if you catch the other ones now, do my sentence get reduced? Because now they're here to
I doubt
serve their
it.
sentence.
All of them will get the same thing.
It's wild, man. Even though they do half, that's still a good. It's over a decade.
Yep.
I haven't got any girls pregnant. It's wow. It's crazy, man.
So the second headline is basically a warning to young non-smokers and then basically being advised to not vape. So young non-smokers are being advised to not take up vaping. Researchers looked at the evidence and say, while vaping is safer than cigarettes, the long-term effects of vapes are still not known. Vaping causes less exposure to harmful toxins than smoking, says the experts who were tasked by the government with looking at the issue. In recent years, there's been a rise in vaping, particularly in young people. A recent study by Action on Smoking and Health found vaping in people aged 11 through to 18 had doubled from 4% in 2020 to 8.6% in 2022.
11-year-olds are vaping.
No, they are.
That's insane.
They are.
Very mad.
They actually are.
However, smoking figures for the same age group had gone down slightly from 6.7% in 2020 to 6% in 2022. Overall, there are believed to be around 6 million smokers in England and nearly 4 million vapers. The Institute of Psychiatry, Psychology and Neuroscience team were commissioned by the Department of Health and Social Care to undertake the biggest review of its kind on vaping in England. And basically, these are the findings, right? So cigarettes are dangerous because they contain toxicants which are found in tobacco smoke and promote cancer, lung disease and cardiovascular disease. Vaping products, including disposable e-cigarettes and reusable kits, still contain nicotine, which is advertised on the packaging due to its addictive nature. And also, there's no significant evidence that short-term and medium-term vaping causes health problems, but the long-term effects are unknown.
Is She's on the list.
No.
I still can't believe. Were you here, Mark, when I found out?
That might be a separate study.
Okay.
Huh?
Were you here when I found out that she's got tobacco in it?
No, I wasn't.
I think when you're there, yeah, I think it was, yeah. I'm still blown away when I remember that.
Yeah, I'm dumbfounded.
Yeah, like I've been out here telling my GP I don't smoke. Whole time. It's mad.
Yeah, she's just serious. She's just bad for
I
you
know now. And I was smoking like it was weed. I was inhaling and all sorts.
Yeah, you're inhaling it. That's why that's.
I was lightheaded by the
insane.
4th puff. I said, yeah, girls, I got call it a night. It's ridiculous. Now that's wild. I'm gonna tell my sister about this because she was telling me her friends vape.
How was that?
They're like in year, they just started year 8.
Wow.
So they were like what, 11,
Is that
10,
12?
11?
12,
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's young.
It's ridiculous. The kids these days are wilding.
That's young. That reminds me, I need to re-up on my vape pens.
It's counterproductive to the message you just put out there. It's crazy, man.
This there's only 6 million smokers in England. Are they not? They're not counting the weed smokers, are they?
No, definitely not.
Nah, probably not.
Yeah, this number's too low.
That would take it to a
that-
young 10.
That number's way too low.
That number's way too low.
I know about 6 million man that smoke.
But saying
that's
that though,
too
6
funny.
million is like what? Like 10%, right? Of the population.
That's a lot of people, though.
That's a
I
lot.
think that's too low.
Still.
Nah, man.
Every man and his dog smokes, and then you've got to take into consideration weed. You have to. You've got to factor it.
Yeah.
I think way too many people are smoking. It ain't right.
Well, that's the end of the headlines.
All right. Well, let's get into our topic of the day. What are you saying?
It's meant to be People's Journal. But, you know.
You don't need to give me the memo. I'm so sorry, guys. All right? I'm having a long day. Let's get into the People's Journal.
For the People's Journal today.
Text me what's next after this, please. I'm embarrassing myself.
Basically, what I wanted to do, was kind of read a breakdown of, I guess, the UK economy from the perspective of The Guardian, right? Because obviously a lot of people feel like, at least on the show, we're kind of hearing Liz Truss and Kwarting side, especially from you, Esther. And
Where am I in it?
no, I'm joking. So I just wanted to put in an opposing view, right? So this is what they pretty much reported, right? So they said Miss Truss made it crystal clear on Thursday that she does not intend to change. This is in spite of a run on the pound, an implosion in the bond market, a sharp tightening of mortgage market, and a near-death threat to the pension funds on which ordinary people depend for their savings. All of these were foreseeable, but all have happened now and may reoccur. For there is undoubtedly worse to come. They've said Bloomberg calculated 3 days ago that the UK markets have lost $500 billion since Miss Truss became Prime Minister this month. Those numbers are still rising. Sooner or later, the Bank of England will raise interest rates significantly. That will curb demand and not boost it. Fresh spending cuts from a government that was elected saying that it was now time to invest properly in our future are certain. So are benefit cuts for claimants and to pensions. The latter is a direct breach of the 2019 manifesto. And this person is basically saying Miss Truss and Mr. Kwarting caused this problem, but the public is paying the price for it. Although the Prime Minister and the Chancellor say they are determined to overturn Treasury orthodoxy, they have quickly embraced its instinct to cut spending. This helps ensure that Britain's recession will be longer and deeper. Wages will fall further behind inflation, and industrial disputes, not just in public services, are likely to grow. Energy prices may have been capped, but it will be a really tough winter for millions. Businesses will fold that will not otherwise have done so. Ms. Truss and Mr. Kwarting are not just wrong, but incompetent.
Wow.
They sacked the head of the Treasury. They undermined the Bank of England. They refused to submit their plans to the Independent Office for Budget Responsibility Forecasters. They announced no plan to bring the public finances back into balance. And having spooked the markets already, they have then spooked them again by hinting that even more unfunded tax cuts are on the way later. This country has rarely needed a general election and a new government more urgently than it does today. Before that, however, the Conservative Party itself needs to grasp the moral, economic, social and political seriousness of the course onto which it has been hijacked. Politically, Mr. Kwarting is now a dead man walking. He should go quickly. As Prime Minister, Ms. Truss may hang on, but the unforgivable events of the past week mean that for her too, the end is nigh and the die is surely cast. So yeah, just wanted to throw that view in there.
I find politics so funny. I find it funny when they cuss each other. Do you know? Because it's not really like in their world. This is a suck your mum. Do you get what I mean? Like
basically,
you're incompetent. You're a dead man walking. Like that's wild. You know?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's crazy.
Them that daily politics thing, or when you can see the House of Commons, they're entertaining, though. They're proper entertaining.
Now they're so entertaining. Yeah, they're really shady as well.
These men are immature.
They're very they're so childish. I think these are meant to be the leaders of the country.
Yeah.
And I love those shows. They're funny.
Yeah, and the last thing really is just mortgage rates are not just rising in this country, they're rising in America as well. So they rose this week for the 6th straight week, which is marking a new high that's not been seen since like 15 years, which is before the crash in the housing market, which triggered the recession. So obviously people are now talking, wait a minute, are we going back to recession? And yeah, man, it's just getting worse and worse. So I don't know. I guess some people may see it as, well, it's not just happening in the UK. It's happening in America. We can't completely blame Quarting and Trust.
Do you know what's extra cheeky about it happening in America, yeah? Is that their houses is built on paper foundation. One little puff and the house goes down. Yeah. So that is very, very cheeky that they're going to be doing all of that stuff. That is very cheeky.
Yeah.
We're going into a recession anyway.
Yeah, I reckon we are.
The rates are terrible, man. Like the average rate on 15-year fixed rate mortgage, which is popular among those who like to refinance their homes, right? Jumped from 5.96%, jumped to 5.96% from 5.44% last week.
So I was going to ask you, if it's a fixed rate, ain't it fixed? How's it move?
Yeah, I don't know. I think in terms of the offers, say you was to get one today. Yeah, like say you've got one already, that can't move. But say So say you wanted to get one last week compared to this week, it's already gone up. Yeah.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, I guess not. Do you know what it is with American houses though? At least, like, obviously it's easy for me to say because I'm on this side of town, but their mortgage going up is so different to us because at least they get like, I mean, apart from the house being, you know, so feeble and easy to break down, but like they actually get good value for, like they actually have proper, they get their money's worth in a way with the houses. Like here, you're paying something stupid for your bathroom, toilet, kitchen and everything to be all under the one room. But there's like proper like houses.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying though. Yeah.
But obviously for the people that live there, it's mad, it's bad. But from here, looking in with our, you know, matchbox
I see them making yards with like 3D printers or something.
Yeah, like crazy.
It always looks it.
Yeah.
It always looks it. It always looks like
sturdy,
they're definitely not sturdy. And I remember there was one time as well where like they had like, there was some girl I follow, she's a makeup artist, she lives in America, and her building just started leaking. As in the pipes just burst and it was flooding the entire apartment.
Yeah.
Like the water's just gushing down and they just had to just leave.
Right, you know, just as funny. She said, "Is it a tornado that you're calling one little puff?"
No, thankfully I've never experienced it and I pray I never do.
Amen.
I'm not the one to be in these kind of situations. This little acts of God, I can't do this inconvenient. I can't do it. It's not for me.
Mad. Yeah, that's the end of the People's Journal, man.
All right. Would you like to introduce the next thing?
It's done out here. No, I'm joking.
I was thinking, wow.
Yeah, I guess let's go into the topic of the day.
Love it.
All right. So with topic of the day today, we have an distinguished guest with us.
How you doing?
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
And I guess today we're going to be talking about navigating life with certain, you know, conditions and stuff like that, right? So, for example, since this is Sickle Cell Awareness Month, we invited our good friend here to come on and basically speak about his experiences and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If you kindly introduce yourself, please.
Cool. What's up, everybody? I'm Manny. I head up We Are Not the Same UK, which is a sickle cell advocacy organization, I guess you could say. And yeah, I suffer with sickle cell. I have sickle cell SS, which we'll dive into. But it's arguably the worst form of sickle cell. And excuse me, I'm mid-30s.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess that's surface.
Okay. So when you said it's like the worst case, right? What are the different?
Cheers.
Yeah.
Sure. So the conversation is always genotypes to begin with. So AA is where you don't carry the gene for sickle cell.
Okay.
And then the next one up is AS, where you carry the gene for sickle cell, which is known as sickle cell trait.
Okay.
And then after sickle cell trait, you get into SC, which is, before SC you have sickle cell beta thalassemia, and then you have sickle cell SC, and then sickle cell SS. Ultimately, it's about the blood signatures. So the higher up the ladder you go, the, I guess, ultimately higher rate your body can potentially produce sickle cells at.
Okay.
Can I ask a question just quickly?
Sure.
Because I don't think I know anyone with sickle cell. Like, how does it actually affect you, like on a day to day? Like, what's the effects of it? What does it do?
I'm laughing because it affects literally every decision I make.
Really? Wow.
In that, from the moment I wake up, it affects the time I go into the shower. It affects how I get out of the shower. It affects the underwear I wear, the socks that I wear. Literally every decision that I could possibly make in life, I have to kind of give it a double take. And it takes a lot of time over years to, for those decisions to become second nature. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of hardship. You go through things and you experience things to understand that this is normality for you. But yeah, it literally affects everything that you could possibly think of, and then some, because ultimately sickle cell affects in your body everywhere that blood flows, which is everywhere. So anything that can affect your blood flow, for example, take how I'm sitting now. So the way that my legs are, you'll see throughout the thing, my legs will straighten, because how my legs are like this is gonna interrupt blood flow.
Okay.
So if I do that for too long, I can go into crisis. So
Really? Oh, wow.
yeah, literally everything.
So, because I've got a friend who's got sickle cell, and I've heard like him tell me about, because when you're talking about the shower and like how you dress and stuff like that, him like it's to do with cold, like being cold, isn't it?
Being too cold, too hot, but yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, for example, so on a basic level, sickle cell is ultimately something that affects the production of your blood cells. So blood cells ordinarily are produced in a circular shape, and they last on average about 120 days.
Okay.
If you have sickle cell, you produce sickled shaped blood cells. So like that shape.
Yeah. Okay.
Hence the term sickle cell.
Oh, okay.
When they form like that, they carry little to no oxygen, and they also last about 10 days. So you can imagine now, if we're sitting here, me and you're producing normal blood cells, I'm producing sickled blood cells that are lasting 10 days and carrying little to no oxygen on a normal day. So anything that interrupts with that flow is going to cause me excruciating pain, because I'm lacking oxygen. The moment that happens, even if I'm not having a crisis, but I'm producing those cells, I'm lacking oxygen around my body. So over time, as well as on a day-to-day, it's going to affect you.
Do you ever get like a signal?
Yeah, sometimes.
Isn't that you feel it coming? Like you feel crisis coming on?
Sometimes you can feel it. Sometimes you can even preempt it. Okay. But sometimes there's nothing you can do. I think last time I was here, we spoke about literally I could go on the toilet, crisis. That's
really?
It's like I'm talking my whole week is over, because and it's literally anything from socks being too tight around the ankles, boxers being too tight on the waist, going from hot to cold or from cold to hot. So there's certain things that, like if I'm flying, for example, I've got to take extra precautions. Being in an office environment, taking into consideration things like air conditioning. Like in my car, my heating's always on. And it's not even, it's mad, because some people get in my car and it's like, why is your heating on and the window's open? I like heat, but I want the air to be fresh as well. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, you see how normal people feel the cold? I feel it differently. People with sickle cell, we feel that in our bones. Like, I can be woken up by the dip in the temperature at night.
Really?
Yeah,
very
100%.
sensitive to it.
Yeah, everyone with sickle cell is. So it's like, times like now, I'm not trying to be outside. Like, if I can be inside or in a hot country or a hot climate, I'm definitely trying to do that.
So what is that? Because you said how if it's like too hot, too cold. If it's so this summer we had like the proper heat waves. What was your?
That was a beautiful thing. I can't lie. It was.
Okay.
It was. Nah, honestly, we don't really get summers like that here
really
anymore.
Yeah.
And there were certain days that I was wearing a t-shirt or nice little cord here and there.
Yep.
Get me, have my legs out and that. But it was nice because it takes some of the thinking away.
Okay. Yeah.
Like you can look at the weather forecast and be like, okay, we're 25 all week, it's lit, we can go out and live a normal life, so to speak. Whereas, like on a normal day, like I keep a big coat in my car.
Oh yeah.
Just as, like my dad always said to me, you never know, because in case you break down or something, which is true, but I keep a big coat in my car just because it might get cold, or it might get colder than it usually is. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask, what's been the hardest thing for you to navigate in life with sickle cell? Whether it be, dating, dealing with a crisis, I don't know, playing sports. Like, I mean, what have you had to really like navigate? What's been tough for you?
That's a very hard question because I feel like it's interchangeable.
And it might have been different things at different points in your life. So what was a struggle in secondary school may not be a struggle now. What's a struggle now may not be a struggle then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So secondary school, just being normal.
Okay.
Like you get to the playground in the morning, you off the jacket, and you play football or you do sprints or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sometimes I would do it, but I know that there's ramifications of doing it.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget one day, my mum dropped me to school and she forgot I left something in the car. So got to school, took off my blazer and took off my jumper, and I'm just kicking around the football. And my mum's come to drop whatever I left. And she see me in a shirt, steam coming from my head. You know how those school mornings were? Like I was giving it some effort, you get me? Like morning playground situation. But she came and she saw me in my shirt and she was steaming. Like she looked like she wanted to kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I was doing, to me, I was being a normal kid.
You've just been a kid, yeah.
But to her, she has a deeper understanding of what's going on with me internally. So she's looking out for me, but I don't understand that at the time.
Yeah.
And the battle with, actually, you know what, Manny, you can't always do the athletics. You can't always do the football. You definitely can't do the swimming. Do you know what I mean? So I'd say coming up in school, it was that for me. And then on top of that, the growing. So sickle cell massively slows down your growth during adolescence. So there's people, some of my peers now, I'm like significantly taller than, but in school, they had like a foot on me. Like it got to a point where I remember I sat down with my dad and I said, Pops, we need to go see the doctors because I'm not growing. And again, deeper understanding, he's like, don't worry, it's going to take time, etc. But and I said, I hear all of that, but in the meanwhile, because I like the irony is I was good at hurdles and I like basketball.
Yeah.
I played football, but football wasn't really for me. So yeah, I used to really love hurdles, used to really love basketball, but I was tiny. And so people weren't really understanding, number one, how I was good at basketball, and number two, how I was making the strides on the hurdles. And as time went by, like I think when I moved from middle school to secondary school, I started to interact with kids from other places. And they were so far ahead of me. It was unreal. Like I went from having 5 meters on these people in hurdles to being 10 meters behind.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's like, that's when it started to hit me. And then you have this thing called, and we talk about it now. We talk about mental health now, but back then, I'm talking 25 years ago,
no
we
one's
weren't talking about mental health.
Yeah.
And so you just have to kind of deal with these things. And then there's been dating incidences as well. I had a situation where there was a woman that I kind of spied and took her out, and we had a good time. And, you know, we were getting on really, really well. And for me, because of how it's impacted my life, I'm getting this out early doors. You need to know what the situation is. Do you know what I mean? So I did that. Took her out, nice place, like somewhere it was levels to her. She had never been there before. And so I dropped that bomb, and her response to me was, "There's no disease in my family, and I don't want there to be. So this is done."
Wow.
And it's like, and you just got to take the L. What can you do? I mean, obviously the delivery was not nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say delivery is poor. Had you paid the bill? Because bitch, you pay now.
Exactly.
That delivery is wild, sis.
Nah, do you know what? I just got on with it. It was what it was to me. I didn't let it affect who I was as a person at the time, and for me, that was huge because it was the first time that somebody had made a decision on me that was nothing to do with me. You know, it was out of my control, and I didn't like that. So that was a lot to deal with. Then to go back a bit, there was a time that my brother lost his best friend who passed away from sickle cell. He had a crisis and passed away. R.I.P. Darren. And going through life and seeing and hearing so many things and experiences with people and having a deeper understanding. Like, so things like when Prodigy from Mobb Deep passed away. So that rocked me because I used to follow him and his music quite closely. And there's various interviews, some of which I put on my page and snippets and stuff. But I remember there's an interview where he talks about, like, one time he had a crisis and Big Pun was watching this guy and started crying from the amount of pain that he was in. And it's like, this is what we have to deal with on a day-to-day. And unfortunately, he had a crisis and had complications and he passed away. And that, for me to date, that constant reminder of how serious this thing is probably the hardest thing to deal with, because it's like, imagine death is chasing you. Death is chasing us all. Like, you know what I mean? Anything can happen to anyone at any time. However, with sickle cell, death is on your neck all the time. But you don't know if he's 2 days away or 35 years away. But you just got to live according to... Like, there was a time, because myself, I nearly passed away from having a crisis back in 2008.
Wow.
And if I had died at the time, like, my eulogy would have been really trash, because it would have just said, yeah, Manny was a good guy, he went to work. That's it. Because that's all I did. And so after that, I decided I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to see a lot of places, experience different things, you know. But it took an experience like that to awaken me to those ideas. And the reason why I kind of advocate and do what I do is because I don't want the generation coming after me to have to go through it. And as ironic as it is, I'm still going to A&E and having the same conversations that I was having 20 years ago. You know what I mean? We saw what happened with Evan Smith. The thinking that a man can be in A&E
That's sad.
and still have to call 999, that's crazy.
That was wild,
And like, to put it into perspective for everybody, when we get admitted to hospital, we're given the same pain relief as gunshot victims and people who are post-op.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
This is what I'm saying. And we're given that same pain relief every 2 hours. And that pain can last a day or a month. It's literally just a waiting game. And so, whilst all of that's going on, I still got to live a normal life. So, yeah.
It's tough. Do you know how sickle cell affects people with sickle cell trait?
So they can be symptomatic.
Okay.
There's no.
I have sickle cell trait.
You do.
Yeah.
Interesting. How long ago did you find that out?
When I was about 17 or something like that, maybe 16, 17.
Okay. And if you get into a situation with like a woman, do you have that conversation with her regarding that?
No, I've never gave it a second thought, to be honest with you, because it doesn't affect me. Maybe I was talking about this with Yusuf yesterday.
Yeah.
Maybe I feel like I'm a bit more susceptible to cold than other people. I really don't like cold. I can't take it, and maybe it's something to do with that. But apart from that, I haven't really like gave it much thought. I've been really ignorant to the fact, and even having this conversation with you, I've never gave a thought about what people with sickle cell live like and stuff like that before.
Yeah, I've got trait too, and I've known my whole life. So Mom told me quite early. So there's a lot of things that you've described today, like we spoke about before.
Yeah.
I experienced those things, but on a much lesser level. Like I have a big coat in my car all the time in case it gets too cold. I feel like I feel cold on another level.
Yeah.
Hot and cold fucks me up a lot. I remember when I went to Dubai, I got mad sick because I kept going in and out of hot and cold, being inside the mall, air conditioning, in the cars, outside. I got crazy sick when I got back. AC. I don't fuck with AC when I sleep. I can't do it. It has to be off. I can't sleep with my windows open. I get sick.
Yeah.
I wake up every single day with cold symptoms all the time. But you know what it is with me? I never put it down to sickle cell. I lived a long life just like, what's wrong with me, man? Is it do I have allergies? Is my immune system weak? Like, what's going on? But I'm a trooper, so I just get on with shit, innit?
Yeah.
It wasn't until I got older that I realised this might be to
there's
do
more
with
to
sickle
it,
cell.
yeah.
There's more to this. Because everyone's like, you go gym, you're fit, you eat well. Why you keep getting sick all the time? I can never pinpoint. And then I think even the convo with you was like, you know what? This is an eye opener. This is probably what it is.
Yeah. I remember that still.
Yeah.
It's funny because even the conversation we had, like you guys were having, the conversation about you guys having the trait.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm AA. I've always believed that since I was young. But when we're talking about like feeling the cold and all that kind of stuff, like I feel it. I am so sensitive to cold that even in summer, my family always mock me because in summer I'm around the house in a house coat. Like I actually wear a full-on house coat, hood on. So the conversation we had the other day made me realize I think I'm gonna go and try and see just to double check again because I recently found out my mum's at AS. So I think we're all AAs. I think one of us is at AS. I can't remember who, but I just thought I'm gonna have to check again because this maths is not quite mathing in.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
To me,
When you're saying all the different things there, I think that's me, you know?
I'm very sensitive
Remember the
to
other day when I
cold.
told you, like, I sleep in tracksuits sometimes. I slept in my Arsenal wearing a jacket.
Yeah, and I laughed
You
hard.
know, like,
I laughed hard.
you know what I'm saying?
No, I hear it.
Sleeping with hoodies on.
Yeah.
My heat is there. Like, this is me all the time, trying to
so
stay
funny?
warm.
The cheek of me to laugh at you, because I actually wrap up when I sleep. When I think about it,
I've never connected nothing, you know?
Yeah.
I wear like fleece. I'm wearing fleece pajamas right now.
Like,
I got long johns on. That's normal life for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like on listening to what you're saying about the jackets and stuff.
Yeah.
There was a time I can't remember what year it was, but I used to sleep in a sleeping bag in my bed
Not a sleeping bag, chow.
under the duvet.
listen,
Like,
I hear that. Completely, trust me.
It's mad, but I appreciate the honesty as well,
Yeah.
man. Because you know what I mean. It's conversations like this that make things happen, and the importance of asking the question means people don't go through what I go through on a deeper level. Because you see, like I always get asked this question, and I wouldn't wish sickle cell on my worst enemy. I'd rather them get rushed, beat up, stabbed, shot, whatever, because they can get over that.
Yeah.
But sickle cell is for life.
Do you know what I'm interested in as well? Because remember, so I've always known about like sickle cell and stuff. So I grew up in Nigeria, and my grandma's a nurse. So I guess there's certain conversations about like health and stuff that always went around. And obviously, you know, Nigerians are very ignorant, so don't fight them. But I've always heard like growing up, don't be with someone who's got sickle cell. Don't be. I have dated a guy who actually had sickle cell, and I've always heard people say it's irresponsible if you do. Can't lie, when you catch feelings, I get it. I get why people get lost in thoughts. You get me? But I've always thought, like if we're saying that, like they have to love too. Like they're gonna be relationships. So when you said earlier how you do what you do, one of the reasons is because you don't want like people coming after you to have the same issue. So like, because if you marry someone who says an AA, right? With the way the maths, the equation works out, you could possibly have a child who's an AS got a trait.
Almost, 100% basically.
Yeah. So like, relationship wise, love wise, what is your advice? I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. Do you get what I mean? Because you're gonna have to. I mean, no, you don't have to. But if you desire love, I think I'm just thinking, how is this gonna be eradicated? Because then it will have to be a case where people who have traits and who have it were like, do you know, okay, we're all gonna have to be. That we're gonna be celibate and just be on our own kind of thing.
It's not that deep.
Okay.
No, but jokes aside,
Yeah.
do you know what? It's about conversations like this and having a conversation with your the woman that or man that you're being intentional with about what their genotype is.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like you said, we all get lost in the sauce. Sometimes we're just trying to secure whatever.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it can all be damaging because what you have to look at is let's say you're linking somebody casually and you haven't had this conversation and something happens. That child now has sickle cell. And imagine on top of that child has sickle cell and the parents don't get along. And it was a one-night stand, or they weren't really serious, or I can't stand my baby mother, or my baby father's this. That child is a result of that. Regardless of whatever you feel about the parent, that child is now gonna either have to suffer the consequences of your actions. Well, they're gonna suffer regardless. And I've seen it so many times because I speak to, like having gone to schools and stuff and done talks. Like we speak to people where maybe the parents don't get along, or there's certain situations where the dad is a myth, like a complete myth in that child's life, and then that child is suffering. I'm saying like child is like my godson, and my godson he's a big man now almost, but he won't mind me saying this because we've come up through a lot of stuff, but I've seen my godson, like he's flourishing now, and I'm happy that he's got me because I didn't have me when I was growing up. You know what I mean? He's 15 years old now, and like when he has to go through sitting in a wheelchair, or using crutches and that kind of stuff, like for an 11, 12-year-old, that's demoralizing.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot.
and if you catch if you're not like strong-willed in school, kids will move to you, and to be able to have to deal with that, you got to be strong-willed, and this is why we have these conversations, because he's had to go through it and his parents weren't aware and my parents weren't aware, but if you are aware, then you can make the difference, because what it takes essentially to answer your question, I get with somebody who's AA, our children are AS. They're AS, they get with somebody who's AA. The percentage or the probability of their children having AS is then decreased.
Okay, so it decreases over time.
So then, if we are all really to plug into this conversation, in like 4 generations, you could eradicate sickle cell.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But it requires everybody to actively play a part in that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people. Sorry, Yusuf. There's a lot of people. I've seen like couples who didn't know. Who was it? There was someone who actually is quite out there. Yeah, I don't want to put a name to anyone, I don't know. But there's someone who's actually out there, like as in media-wise, and they said that when they got married, they didn't know. And obviously they've had a child then, and then that's when they knew. Because I think even finding out your genotype, I'm not sure if this is right, but it's not the easiest thing to find out, is it? No, it's quite, especially in this country, it's quite secret. Because in Nigeria, well, you're not Nigeria anyway, you pay the right person to tell you anything. But like here, it's actually quite... they're quite secretive about it.
It's an awkward process, and it doesn't need to be.
Okay.
I think it's anti-black.
So it's not something that could ever come up in taking a blood test.
It should do, but it doesn't. It's like the blood test should happen, and they should say, "Oh, by the way," but that's never gonna happen unless, like, even.
Wait there. So they'll take your blood. What they wouldn't see it, or they wouldn't inform you.
I don't think they'll see it. I remember I had a blood test once for something else. And then the woman called me and was querying me to why my blood test came out a certain way. I don't remember this.
First of all, you're the doctor.
Yeah, what's that?
I said, because you have the degree to know why.
Yeah.
Exactly. This time you're the doctor.
I can't remember her exact questioning, but basically I've gone through my life not really thinking about the fact that I have sickle cell trait. So I might go 15 years without even remembering it. Then one day I'm like, oh yeah, I'm reminded that I've got sickle cell trait. You know what I mean? So then I was like to her, I don't know, you tell me. And I was like, oh, I got sickle cell trait. This is live on the phone. I got sickle cell trait. That's probably what you're seeing. And she's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. All right.
I said that makes sense, you know.
Let me just give you some context there. Because imagine a healthcare professional has called you to ask you why your blood is looking a bit different.
I think she said,
We used to be a country,
I think she said the cells were really, really small.
Wow.
Or something like that. Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, but why would I know that? If I knew that, sis, I wouldn't know how to come to you. I would have done a home test and sorted this out myself. That's wild.
Yeah, it was weird still.
But this is what we live with. Like I was in hospital 2 weeks ago. I was telling my doctor what to do.
Boy.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Like in medical school, in nursing, sickle cell is like half a page. For a doctor, it's like 3 pages. And the rest, and I've literally been in situations where I've argued with doctors. I've had a doctor tell me, I've been to medical school, you don't need this, you don't. I said, listen, my guy, I've lived with this thing for like 20 plus years. So you can shut the hell up and help me or keep it stepping.
That's it, for real.
Going back to the dating conversation, because I've been intentional.
I respect that.
In my adult life with, letting girls know I've got sickle cell trait in case they do as well. Sickle cell trait, that's AS, right? So if 2 ASs get together, what's the
1 in 4, so 25% chance of a child with sickle cell, full-blown sickle cell.
Okay, cool. Because the whole thing dawned on me, and I became intentional with it when I had a friend who was supposed to get married to a girl, and everything was going smoothly until the conversations of sickle cell arose. But it was the mother of the girl that brought it up, and she kind of like, they were happy to kind of be together and just
The mum deaded it.
The mum did it. I was like, nah, it's too much of a risk. They both had trait.
It's a risk because the way life is set up.
Yeah, the mum did it, and the thing was, it was serious. That they were going to get married. It was, you know what I mean, it was in motion. The mum was like, nah.
Why do you think 2 people with trait could say to themselves, "Love is great. Let's just go ahead."
Exactly that what you just said. Love is great.
But why? Is it because they've not experienced it?
I guess.
Maybe it's because it's not 100% chance. There's
that. It's not 100% chance, but also they haven't experienced it. But then in the same fashion, there's a minority of people that will have sickle cell and still go ahead. Hold tight, them. That's not me. That's not a lot of people, but you know what I mean. So
I don't think I've ever even asked a girl if she's got that before. I've never it's really stupid.
But it's not though. This is the thing, and I'm glad that we're having the conversation. I'm glad for the honesty, because when have you ever been told that in your life? When have you ever been told like, "Rah, by the way, this is sickle cell. You have the trait, and if you're procreating X, Y, and Z, you've never been told that in your life." So we can't be mad at you for that. No, nobody can be mad at you for not knowing. Do you get me?
When my mum told me, it was a casual conversation.
I can't even remember exactly how it went, but definitely like you got trait, and if you have a baby with someone else who got trait, they're gonna have sickle cell. Mind yourself, kind of thing.
I don't think mine was even to that extent. I think my mum just told each one of my siblings and us what we had. I think it's me. There's 4 of us. I think 2 of us have trait and the other 2 don't. She just told us, and that was it. I never heard about it again for the rest of my life.
I like you guys up.
Yeah, for the rest of my, we've never. Me, my mum, and dad never discussed sickle cell trait at all, apart from that one time, and that was it. As far as I can remember, anyway. Maybe I can't remember some conversations, but that was it.
That was actually gonna be my next question to you, because I know you said that obviously when you're younger, you knew that certain things like playing sports and all that kind of stuff. But when did you actually? When did you find out yourself? Did your parents tell you? And then also, forgot my question. Let's answer those first. Sorry.
Cool. Something was happening with me. I was always in hospital, and my family would be like, "Raw, like, how comes Emmanuel's always in hospital? Like, he's always sick." And
who said that? Your family?
Friends, family,
okay,
everyone. And as time got on, and I started to grow older, I started to understand, not so much from my parents, but from being present in hospital and asking questions.
Did your parents know?
When they had us, no, they didn't know.
Okay, so you been in and out of hospital. Your parents were part of the family that was asking, that was wondering
Oh
why
no,
you were
no,
always
no.
in
Sorry,
hospital.
sorry. They didn't know before they had us, but they knew with me from like 18 months old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they never told you?
No, they didn't not tell me. It
Yeah.
was happening. It was unfolding. So it was like, yeah, okay, you have sickle cell and you got to do this and do that, etc. So it was all life learning for everyone.
Are you the only one? Sorry, Iman. Are you the only one of your? Do you have other siblings?
Yeah, I got siblings, but I'm the lucky one. It's and going back to the percentage as well, because obviously it's 1 in 4. Like I said, if both parents have AS, but I know people that like they're one of 4 siblings and 3 of them out of the 4 have sickle cell.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, this may be a bit of a silly question, yeah. But like you said, your parents found out when you were 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
What made them go and find? Is it because maybe you was crying a lot, or?
Yeah, I was sick.
Okay.
And went to the hospital and it's like, okay, maybe it's this. And I came home and it wasn't that. And I went back and it was back and forth for about a week. And my parents were like, yo, like we know our child and he's sick. What's going on? And so they went more exploration and it was a particular doctor that said to them, yeah, he's got sickle cell.
What's navigating like friendships like as well? Like, do your friends like know? So, say for example, you had a crisis, right? Did you have a conversation with your friends of like what to do if that happens, or?
Sometimes it's different for men and women as well, which I've been learning over the last few years because simple things like having a hot water bottle, like I don't for women that's like a go-to thing for a lot of women. To me, it's never ever occurred to me like, oh, let me fill up a bottle.
Like you should, you know.
Well, this is it. This is the conversation I've been having, and women are like, yo, it's a game changer, and sometimes it's helped, sometimes it hasn't, but I think it's different because we face different battles in like on the relationship front, for example. As a woman, ultimately you seek to have a relationship, but there's an element of you that wants to be looked after, and as a man dealing with a woman who has sickle cell, for example, like men naturally you want to look after your woman. So if your woman gets sick, you want to look after even more, you know what I mean? But as a man, you want to look after your woman, but you need looking after as well. And so it's like, where do you draw the line between I'm a man but I need help versus I'm a man but I'm trying to be a man still. So
Excuse me if I missed this earlier, but did your parents have the traits at all?
yeah, both my parents have trait. They would have had to have had at least trait for me to.
So how come they didn't realize
They didn't know?
when you were sick? No, not as in they didn't think, oh, maybe it's sickle cell. Like
I was until I was 18 months old, and they were doing the back and forth. They had no, because they like I'm the second born.
Yeah.
So like my brother was cool.
Okay.
Just trait.
Okay.
And my little sister has trait as well.
Yeah.
So, why would you? You know.
Only because obviously, because they both have.
They didn't know.
Oh, they didn't know that they had it. Yeah. Oh, I missed that part. Okay.
They
cool.
didn't know. Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's a different conversation. Because me, like, if my parents knew, I don't know. I even me as a like, I'm not a parent, but you know, if I brought in a child to this world with sickle cell, not as a carrier of trait, but with full blown sickle cell, knowing what I'm gonna put that child through, I couldn't live with myself. Like that's boy,
it's heavy. It's heavy.
That's exactly what I think about, like, because I remember a few years back, I remember researching it a bit and looking at like the average age that people with sickle cell. That's sad, you know.
It's do you know what I always tell people not to Google sickle cell? Okay. It's a miserable read.
I'm telling you.
Sickle cell, like if you Google sickle cell, it will say you'll be an amputee by 30.
Okay.
You'll die by 45.
Okay. What are the key stats at the moment though in terms of like you said, average age, surviving episodes, stuff like that?
Things it depends where you're placing the question.
Okay.
So, and I say that like I know one time I went to have my transfusion, and this is about 3 years ago before COVID. And I went to have my transfusion. We'll get into that in a minute or in a bit. But I met a woman there who was 75. And she was the oldest person I had ever met with sickle cell. And I was like so happy to see her.
Yeah.
And, you know, there were the myths and stuff. And I know people in their 50s and so on and so forth. But she was the oldest person I'd seen with sickle cell. And she's like, yeah, my sister's got it too. My sister's in her 80s. And it just filled my heart, like, because you hear stuff and there's so many African myths and all this nonsense, you know what I mean? And ultimately, there is a level of self-care that you have to, you know, put into this. And, you know, going back to like Prodigy, for example, Prodigy didn't necessarily live the healthiest life. Calling a spade, that didn't help, you know what I mean? You can help yourself, but then at the same time, it's like a double-edged sword, because as much as you try and help yourself, sometimes you will just have a crisis.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, there is no real average. It's forever increasing because, and the reason, this is another reason why you can't really go by stats per se. Going back to Evan Smith, Evan didn't have to die. I could list a number of people that didn't have to die, but unfortunately the facts are they did, because our healthcare system is not equipped enough to deal with, like, you get certain time you go to A&E and you get nurses who are well versed in sickle cell.
Yeah.
And you see, you know, like you go somewhere and you want to experience good customer service. You want to experience somebody who cares about their job.
Yeah.
Like, and you always remember good customer service as well.
Yeah.
And it's the same with going to the hospital because you're still a customer.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that, yeah. Sorry to cut you, yeah. You see, like, regards of like healthcare and like, I don't know, the technology, yeah. Like, what's the future look like for sickle cell? Because like, obviously, like, have you seen like advancements in treatment or anything like since you've had it? And then obviously, does that give you hope for the future? If is there stuff coming, or like, what's the situation? Is it getting better or what?
Yes, it's getting better, but there's a lot of blockers, especially from the NHS, to be honest, because I used to work quite closely with the NHS, and we were making, we were changing the world literally. We had this was back in 2018. We had a record-breaking blood drive to recruit black blood donors. And there were so many, I won't get into the semantics, but there were so many things that we were doing that were groundbreaking. We were literally shaking the table. And as I said, we were working with the NHS, and they stopped us at every possible juncture. They had, say again?
Why?
Oh, it's a black disease. No one cares about it.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
It affects black people disproportionately in comparison to white people. So that's the be all and end all. Like, just to give you an idea of the kind of ways that they were messing with us. I'm talking, imagine we have an event and we've got catering for the event.
Yeah.
9 p.m. the night before the event, they pulled a budget for the catering. They're like, yeah, we can't do it. Why? We weren't able to certify this or certify that at 9 p.m. before the event. So literally what we did is on the day of the event, we showed up early, went and bought bun and cheese, and literally...
Did it work?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that you made it work. You have to do what you have to do.
Yeah, this is it. And the irony, let me tell you a quick story, right? So, sorry, you got to laugh because just thinking about it is mad. So, as I say, we were partnering with NHS. So we've literally just held a record-breaking blood drive, right? So the NHS are like, oh, this is amazing. The CEO has given us letters of recognition to say this is well done, this is amazing. So we've had guys come up to us like, guys, this is amazing. How did you do it? You know, we want more of this. Okay, cool. We're here. Let's work. So what they did is they said, okay, that's great, but can you do it for free? Well, no, because nobody works for free, first and foremost. And if you're really trying to do this, then let's do this. Yeah. Like let's put stuff on paper, let's ink it up and get stuff done and advance the betterment of our health as well.
Yeah.
So what happened was the same NHS that said this is amazing and we want you guys to do this went and recruited a market research company.
Oh wow.
And that market research company, their role was to hold focus groups to find out how to engage with the black community. We've just done this on a record-breaking scale. So hear this now. So they've recruited the marketing agency. They're holding focus groups. Who do they call for the focus group?
Can you imagine?
And the thing is, we're the same people. They're pulling our budget on food the night before the event. I'm going to tell you lot off air the budget that they gave these people to come and talk to us, and then what they tried to give to us. You lot won't believe it.
So they pay. Oh yeah, of course they paid them, but they wouldn't pay you. And yeah, that's sick.
So yeah, and that's that. That's why right now, if you Google NHS blood and transplant, they're in a mess because they're going through some stuff. Some stuff has come to light. So
really,
and it's only going to get worse because foots are on necks.
Let's have a look.
So yeah,
I think you've kind of proved a point that I tried to make right on the show where I'm like, why are you looking at
I'm
me?
just waiting for where you're gonna take this plane.
You tied the balloon.
I swear, I'm like, you're done.
He wouldn't dare.
We're gonna start a union.
He wouldn't dare.
It's possible. I was going to say basically the idea that we need to do for self. We can't rely on the system in any way. What would you say is the top 3 things that all of us can basically do to make the situation better? Like in terms of like blood transfusions, how to give blood, because I don't know how to do any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. First and foremost, have the conversation. Talk about sickle cell. We talk about the big C all the time. And in terms of how this affects us as a community, as black people, it's in our community. Like with cancer, somebody can develop cancer. Sickle cell is already in our community and it's rife. And we can have conversations to eradicate it and reduce its presence, or we can just continue to ignorantly live. So donating blood is definitely key. You can go to blood.co.uk to learn how to do that. It's literally as simple as you go in, you type in your location, and it will give you your most local donations center. Then you look for a time. It takes about an hour of your day. When you donate one unit of blood, that can save up to 3 people.
Wow. Okay.
I'm still sitting here today because of a life-saving blood transfusion. I have transfusions every 5 weeks, so I rely on 12 people to donate blood for me to have a better quality of life.
Wow.
Minus that, I probably wouldn't be here. Or so again, to put it into perspective, before I was on transfusions, the doctor said to me, look, something's got to give, because over a 24-month period, I was admitted into hospital 21 times. And so imagine trying to have like a social life or a job or do anything, you know what I mean? And so, doctor said, look, you can blood transfusions or this treatment, take your pick. And the other treatment that I was offered was something called hydroxycarbamide, which is a chemotherapy drug.
That's got its effects as well.
Right. And this is, and see, now we start to get into a different realm because, hold on. So you have sickle cell and some of the treatment involves a chemotherapy drug. So we're talking about a deep-rooted sickness here, and it's obviously quite deep, but why are we not talking about that?
When you do transfusions, is there a particular blood type that you're looking for?
So there's a subtype, which is RO.
Okay.
So ultimately, you need a blood match anyway. So, and it's important, this is another thing, it's important for people generally just to know their blood type.
Yeah.
But RO blood is best suited to people with sickle cell.
Okay.
That comes from black people. That's putting it simply, it comes from black people.
I definitely don't know my blood type.
Blood type is like the O positive and stuff like that. Isn't it?
Yeah, A plus, A neg, B.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, because I got trait, my blood's no good. I can't donate it, can I?
No, you can.
You can.
How though? How's that helping anyone?
You produce. It's still helping people. And what it means is that over time.
I mean, like, I don't want to just donate blood to anybody. We're talking about sickle cell.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing.
You can't choose where your blood goes, Marks. Blacks only.
No, I hear, boy. That's another conversation. But let me put this into perspective for you now. Yeah, for every 3,200 people that give blood in the UK, 32 of them are suited for me. I'm one person.
For every 3,000.
200 people
Wow.
that donate blood. 32 of those units of blood are perfectly suited to me.
Wow.
Just 32.
From 200.
3,200.
3,200.
Like 1%.
That's mad.
Mm-hmm. And I'm one person.
So, like, yeah, how many people?
So, and there's like 15,000 of us in the UK right now.
Do you know, yeah, if you go to donate blood, yeah, do they just take your blood and then test it later? Or like, if I went, say, for example, they wouldn't even tell me that I had a sickle cell trait. Do you know what I mean?
No, so it's all, there's different things. You're filling in a form, there's a screening as well. So, you know, you'll kind of sit behind a screen with somebody and they'll ask you certain questions and so on and so forth. But if you have sickle cell trait, you can still donate blood.
Yeah, okay.
It's just there might be limitations on how regular or how often you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, I need to go back anyway, because the first time I tried to go, the woman was shy for me.
What was that?
She looked at me like, bitch, you need some blood. Do you know, like when they put in the cup, yeah?
Yeah.
I think your blood is meant to sink off whatever it's meant to do. So I think it's meant to do something anyway. When they prick you and put it in some glass of thing, whatever. My blood was in the complete opposite. She looked at me, she said, 1 second. She went out, she came back with a bunch of leaflets. She was like, yeah, girl, you need to...
But do you know what? It's probably iron deficiency.
Yeah.
And this is something that is heavy and rife in our community.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not having these conversations. How many people are talking about eating...
Kale.
Forget kale, that tastes nasty. No, let's just be real. Let's be real. Let's be real. But like green peas have folic acid in it.
Okay.
Like a lot of people don't know that. For me personally, and my mum was quite good with this. She knows that I have to eat foods that are high in iron from young. So like certain times she'll make rice and stew for my siblings, and she'll make rice and liver for me. And my siblings will look at me like, you're mad. But because let's be honest, liver is an acquired taste. But to say the least, you know what I mean. But yeah, it was for my betterment and for my health and things like green peas and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So black blood drives, like, how do we find them?
We're trying to find them at the moment. That's the real answer, because, like I said previously, we have met so many blockers. One thing I will say, and I will always continually shout out, ACLT. They have done so much for black blood donation, black organ donation. I can't shout them out enough, but aclt.org.uk, I believe. You can find out some information there. They can direct you. It's something that we're working on, is the best answer. Ultimately, we're trying to work around what the current system is so that we can have it on a bespoke level. Because where we did that previously, and every time we've done it, shout out Melissa and Vashti as well from Selfie for Life. Every time we've done it, we've raised the bar, and we've literally broken records every time we've done it. So.
Sick. I was going to ask you, because you mentioned like really early into the conversation how obviously like cold and like being in the office and stuff like that. Have you ever lost a job because of your illness?
You're better off asking how many jobs have I lost.
Really?
How many jobs have you lost?
I'd say about 4.
Okay.
And even them knowing what you're...
They don't give a damn.
No discrimination.
Yeah.
Could have sued.
But it's like where the thing is, you get into these conversations and these let me tell you, so I worked for this company and I was off sick, right, for a week. And when I say their figures took a nosedive for the time that I was off, right? So I come back.
Just how valuable you were.
Is it?
Well, anywho, come back, and so I gave them my medical certificate. And so my manager said to me, "Where's your prescription?" Exactly. So I'm like, "What are you talking about? Where's my prescription?" He's like, "I need to see your prescription for this, sickness." I was like, "Okay." So I showed him a copy of my prescription, and he's like, "Where's your medicine?" I said,
Okay, sir.
Right, but I was a young boy.
Yeah.
Back these times. So, I'm like, my medicine's in the car. He's like, "If you're sick, where's your medicine in the car?" And the car park's about 5 minute walk. 5 minute walk, sorry. So, I'm like, "Well, because if I take this medicine, sir, I won't be working." You know what I mean? So, I then get the next day. I go to work, and there's invitation to investigation.
Oh wow.
Or get this, access to your medical records.
This is insane.
So I'm like, nah, we're not doing this. I'm not playing this game.
Exactly.
So then it's like, okay, cool. We're going to go down the investigation route. So what was investigated was bullying. Bullying in the workplace.
As in you were
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
As in I was bullying.
You were the
in
bully?
work. Yeah.
for doing what?
Bullying people into achieving figures and hold on.
Was he?
Hold on. So
Oh damn.
I've gone to my team, right? Now I parlay with these people on a daily. They sit in my car, so I'm like, guys, I've been given investigation to bullying. They're like, no. What? You? Cool. I go to the investigation meeting. Every single one of them has written a statement against me to say I've bullied them. And the thing with bullying is you can't disprove it because it's how you made me feel.
You gotta rush them, You gotta hire someone to rush them on the way back home.
And so, yeah, that's
wild. This is why I always tell people that people that working on your friends. You can get however close you guys want to
100%.
just have. They're not your friends. The moment they get a chance to turn on you,
100%.
because who knows what they were offered, they will do that quickly.
100%.
Sorry,
That
guys.
is wild.
Sorry, guys. I'm actually proper annoyed because this conversation is so cold and I want to have it. But my other employers messed up my train times and I got an early train I got to catch, so I have to leave now.
Not you owing the people 3 donut ears. Crazy.
You know what? You're right.
You're racking up a tab on these people.
A little roster there.
All right, babes.
Extremely disappointing. I'm sorry I got to do this, but Emmanuel, it was nice meeting you. Great conversation.
Thank you, bro.
Really important. You said some poignant things, and I think it's going to affect a lot of people. It's making me think about donating blood as well.
For real.
Yeah, we need to.
But I'm going to have to continue the conversation without me. I'm proper sorry.
All right, babes.
All good,
Nah,
man.
big up.
It's all good.
All right.
See you later.
In a bit.
Take it easy.
I was going to ask about the blood. I think Mark's kind of touched on it as well, yeah. Since you kind of need RO, right? And I'm assuming, obviously, blood can be used for bare different things. Is there something in place to make sure if I've got RO...
That's essentially...
there's a priority kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's like, imagine you can go to Asda and get oil for your car. But you can go to Halfords and you can look at the list and get the Castrol GT, whatever, that is specifically for your car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same sort of principle.
Okay. And I can't say to them, look, only use my blood for this.
No, don't say this. Only use my blood for the blacks. That's what you mean.
Yeah, some white guy talking about, I got black blood in me.
Oh, man.
Need them any excuse, boy.
I want to kind of talk about like a solution, right? Because I think on the show, there was a headline where there was a gentleman who actually went for stem cell. You would know what I'm talking about, innit? And he, I believe, he hasn't had a crisis since. He's not felt the pain, and he's basically said for him it's worked. Like, can you tell us a bit more about that research and that study and whatnot?
Sure. So the thing about sickle cell that makes it so complex is it's not a one size fits all.
Okay.
And there are very specific requirements. So you have to be within a certain age group. The transplant, the donor has to be very specific. And there's a fatality possibility as well. I mean, there are things in the works. There are always things in the works. But, the numbers are not in favor of a cure, so to speak.
Okay.
So yeah, I hope that answers.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Is it expensive to do that? Like a stem cell?
I'm not too sure.
Is a transplant? Is a
So it depends where you're talking as well. Like
Okay.
for example, I remember I went to LA one time and I got sick. It cost me £750,
Wow.
and I was in hospital for about 5 hours.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, the Americans, they must be going through it. Especially if you're in hospital like very often and you never know. Oh my goodness.
You definitely have to have like the proper insurance over there, right?
Yeah, but even then, because it's like a black problem and they don't care about black people, probably gonna have to get like a premium that covers that kind of that illness.
Over there it's different as well, because what you have to bear in mind over here is, like, I've gone to do certain quotes for insurance, and they're like, have you been admitted into hospital in the last 12 months? That's the end of the survey.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't do it. And then it's
Really?
like you go through the motions. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, unfortunately at this time we cannot offer you, you know what I mean? So yeah.
It's wild. It's really sad, but I'm definitely gonna look into it. Me and my mum need to talk.
Yeah. Can you let us know, because the name of the organisation that you started as well, please?
Yeah, so it's Once UK, so it's an acronym, which is We Are Not the Same UK.
Okay.
And do you know what? It started from me just kind of wanting to let people know what's going on, and for there to be somewhere where people with sickle cell can congregate or ask questions or what have you. And it just kind of blew up from there, you know, to meeting other people with similar organizations, like, you know, I have to say Sienna Smile, Sickle Can, Unsickle My Cells, to name a few. And shouts, of course, TSS. But yeah, and it just grew from there, really. It was never really intentional in that sense. It just got to a point where I felt like I wasn't doing enough, and it kind of grew from that.
And like, you have like a website where we can donate and do certain things?
So no, I don't.
Okay.
So this is the thing. It's a bit of a bone of contention, because if you Google, Sickle Cell Unite as well, because sorry guys, I nearly forgot. But yeah, I would say head over to Sickle Cell Unite, actually, because they're people that we've worked quite closely with in the past. The thing with sickle cell is, and why there's so many different organizations, is because we've never had a voice. So we had to create our own. And then we all created our own and made so much noise that it's like, there's bare of us. So it's like, okay, actually, we're all here, we're all doing the same thing. Yeah. And so it's for that reason that I haven't, you know, so I just divert people to causes that are actually doing stuff. Because if you Google sickle cell charities, there's one charity that will come up. I'm not going to say their name. Don't even want to give them the time of the day, but they're not helpful. Okay. So if you want to be helpful, then you can donate to your local sickle cell and thalassemia center. Okay. Which will be in every borough. Okay. And yeah, you can do things that way and research that way, and you'll get better results, and you'll be able to see where your money's going and how it's helping. Okay, so Google sickle cell and thalassemia. So if you just like local sickle cell center. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, this has been a very good.
No, it's been a great conversation, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
No, thanks for having me.
I was gonna say, the next time you do like one of the like campaigns and stuff, can you come back on the show?
Yes, please let us know.
Yeah, sure.
100%.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's always stuff in the works, but yeah, no, I will do that for sure.
Okay, thank you, man. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Did you say your does your organisation have like a social media page or anything?
Yeah, at Once UK on IG.
Okay, we'll put it in the description box anyway.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You gonna stay for the rest of the show?
Yeah.
Because we are lit. Thank you. All right, let's get into asking for a friend. Okay, here we go. So, good morning, TDA. I absolutely love the show, and I hope you are able to read my dilemma out soon. So, not asking for a friend, is it? Sis, what would you do?
Yes.
Trying to rob me. Goodness, men trying to take me down. Is this what would you do, guys? So, good morning, TDA. I absolutely love the show, and I hope you are able to read my dilemma out soon, as I'm dying here. Girls, I am ready to settle down for real, for real. But I have 3 men that I like. I don't love any of them yet, but they're all candidates. Okay, like that, options. Now, bear in mind, none of them know that I'm talking to each of them. Yes, because why would you let them know that? At least I assume so, because they're all friends. I'm sorry again. Now, bear in mind, none of them know that I'm talking to each of them. At least I assume so, because they're all friends, and none of them have mentioned it to me. But I've been seeing all 3 of them. 2 of them have suggested to me that they want to be my exclusive companion. And even though the last one hasn't, I reckon that could run too if I broach the subject. He's just not the type of guy to lead, but he's definitely keen. So anyway, I'd like to pick one, and I don't mind which one I pick because I just want to settle and have a child, and each of these guys I feel I could fall in love with. Women always doing charity case here when it comes to love. But anyway, so I'm going to give you guys the 3 options of the guys. So the first guy is Nigerian and has a child, 2 years old, and the baby mother is very present in his life, and she's no problem. Okay. The second one is Congolese with 2 children by 2 different baby mothers. Both are present and they are no problem. That's good. The third one is Jamaican and he has no children, but he's a few inches shorter than me.
First of all, is this a real thing or you 2 made this up?
No, not at all.
This is a real...
Yeah.
So girls, from your perspective, who would you pick and why? If there are any female callers that want to chime in, please feel free to chime in. First of all, yeah, I think that, okay, I know this is not really a dilemma yet, but I really want women to not carry like relationships and stuff on their head like that. Because I think you saying you're so keen to settle down that you're going to settle for one of these guys, that already rubs me off the wrong way. So she's like, I just want to settle. So, you know, yeah, I'm not really here for that. What were you going to say, Mac? I know you're dying for it.
I was just going to say, is it really settling?
It is.
I think maybe, no, because...
She
like,
said it.
Yeah, I think the wording might be wrong though. Like these
those
are
are her
3
options.
good,
Yeah.
these are 3 good guys.
Like these are my suitors.
This is it.
I'm trying to make a choice. That's what I got from
If it was one, there's like, you know, he's okay. I want to settle.
Yeah, but I think-
that's different.
If you're saying, okay, so if you're saying, yeah, okay, if there's a guy I like, yeah, I wouldn't say to you, like, I like this guy. I can see me fall in love with him. That is going to happen because I really like this person. So I think if you say you see yourself falling in love with someone, that suggests to me that this is going to be a grower. Do you get what I mean? It's not a, this is, I'll like you at some point kind of thing. Okay, that's fair. That's fine. That's fair enough. Okay, so the options. So first guy, Nigerian, has a child, 2 years old, baby mother is present. I think these are good. I think these are good qualities. I don't like situations where the baby mother, like it's a problematic co-parenting situation. I'm not against dating guys with children. And if the situation is healthy, I think that's good. Second guy, Congolese, got 2 children by 2 different baby mothers. At the moment, he's last on my list. He's a least to go for, respectfully. The third one is Jamaican and he has no children, but he's a few inches shorter than me. I think with that, I don't think that's necessarily the biggest deal. Of course, it depends how
short she is.
this person is. No, not her. She's all right.
Yeah, no, because
how short he is.
He might be that much shorter. If she's 6 foot and he's like, I don't know, 5'10".
Okay, yeah, that's not too bad, I guess. Yeah.
Sounds like he's a good guy though, but he's just short.
Exactly.
No, but I think he's the one who hasn't told her that he wants to be with her.
Oh, was it?
So in my mind, because she said there's 2 that have told her, and the third one, from which I'm hoping that she's done it in order of who's approached her, kind of thing. So he's the one who hasn't been very forthcoming. But she says, if I talk to him, I reckon he will, he'll be on it.
Also, we're not going to call her out for talking to 3 friends.
Absolutely not.
Isn't it a bit messy?
That's definitely messy.
It's messy.
No, I agree.
Let me let you guys know what it is.
It's messy.
No. I'll tell you why it's not messy. Let me tell you why it's not
I
messy.
think I missed that, I didn't know they were friends.
Yeah, they're
Of course
friends.
you missed it.
They're friends.
Yeah,
Let me tell you what it is, yeah. The economy's tight. You got to get it wherever you can. And that's on period. So if you are friends and you don't discuss with each other, obviously I'm different. I don't do stuff like that. Kind of men I roll with, they don't want to even know that everyone looked at their friends. So my situation is different. But I can understand it. Sorry, I think you go wherever your love is. You guys know how I feel about this. I think if my love of my life is my friend's ex or something like that, I'm not mad at my friend dating my ex if that's where your love lies.
I love lies in 3 friends in the same group.
At the same
It'd
time.
be
How
like
did that
that,
happen?
man.
At the same time.
At the same time.
It'd be alright. I think
Can
it's
I just
alright.
ask as well, because she doesn't state where she's from. if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't.
See, she's being shady with the details. So
No, she's not.
No, she is, because what's the relevance of
Of
where
the
they're
Nigerian-
from if we don't know where you're from?
Because you know, as a woman, yeah, these things matter.
Dependent on where you're from, right?
No. Depending on where the guy is from matters. As a woman,
Exactly, depending on where you're from.
because if I was to go by just where they're from, as a Nigerian, Congolese, Jamaican,
Where would you go?
oh, I'm a Nigerian, but I'm always going Nigerian. But I'm saying if we're gonna,
Do you see my point?
I see your point here. But if we rate the guys in terms of behavior stereotypes,
But you've taken all
the
of
Nigerian
that
guy's
away.
carrying last.
No, but you've taken all of that away and said that you'll go with the Nigerian because of where you're from.
Yeah, but that's because I'm a like for like kind of babe.
Exactly, but we don't know where she's from, so how can we help it?
I think she's saying it for. I get the relevance of it. I get the relevance because she's saying, yes, he's got one child. Yes, it's just a 2-year-old. Yes, the mother is present, but he's Nigerian. I'm reading between the lines. I get it. There could be problems. Like his situation is good, but there could be problems because of the Nigerian. Because you know sometimes the men have something in them.
All right.
But
Should
yeah,
we all go around the room and pick which guy we think's the best?
yeah, I'll go last.
All right.
I'll go second to last.
I'll go first.
Iman, take it away.
No, I
Oh,
think
so
you
you're
should
going
say
first?
I haven't. No, give me some time.
Yeah, Iman, we'll go. Yeah, we'll go this way.
All right. Well, I think Nigerians are known to be wholesome guys. So, like, I think probably him. Because, like you said, even though he's got a child,
Yeah.
no issues, responsible, very present in her life, knows how to obviously, like, there's evidence there that he can look after his child and whatnot. And obviously, he's got that, he's shown the desire to want to be with her. Yeah, Nigerian.
I'm gonna do mine by process of elimination.
Let's do this.
First of all, let's get rid of the Congolese guy. One, because he's Congolese, so he dresses.
So where are you from,
He
Emmanuel?
dresses very flagrantly.
Where are you from?
I'm Guardian.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we had a Congolese person and we were doing all of that.
You don't need colourful suits and pointy
No,
shoes
dead ass.
and
Pointed white shoes.
and canes and bowler hats. We don't need that stuff, right? So then he has 2 children. Yeah. So he has one more than the Nigerian guy. So that might mean twice as much work on your side. You know what I mean?
It's true. Family day.
And it's 2 different baby mothers. Do you want to be baby mother number 3?
You know that's not my story.
Do you want to be baby mother number 3?
Exactly.
This is your future, right?
Yeah.
So Congolese guy, he has to go. Jamaican guy, Jamaicans are rowdy, bro. No, I'm joking. I'm playing. I love Jamaicans.
You're so Nigerian and Jamaican.
Jamaicans. I would say, all right, Nigerian guys. He has a child, 2 years old. It's a toss up between the Nigerian and Jamaican. To be fair, I would say if you want to date someone who has no kids, obviously Jamaican guy is there for you. Is height a big factor for you? I know height is a big factor for some girls, isn't it? Like how much is height a factor? A lot of girls don't want a guy who's shorter than them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a word.
And I
then-
think the fact she mentioned it as well.
Yeah.
It's
like,
definitely-
you
yeah.
know
It's
what?
going to be something.
It's
You know what?
definitely bothering her.
It's definitely. She's a few inches as well.
And
Not
that-
even a couple.
And that might be a few inches like when you're both barefoot. What about when you're wearing heels?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He has to wear McQueens or something. Or Air Force or them wedge feelers to get on your
Wait, them
level.
wet Converses.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That you know what it is? The aesthetics ain't given.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
giving.
So you know what? Niger, innit?
That's it.
Yeah.
It's wild though.
Guy number
Because
one.
we're out here telling her to be with like just, play along with me. But we're out here telling her to be with a man who's already got a child and neglect a man that's just got a few inches shorter. It's crazy.
You know what it is? It's you lot, to be fair.
That's exactly
because
it.
you
Who's you lot?
girls
Girls.
have put height on such a pedestal that
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that it's a key. It's
It
a
is
red
because
flag.
I'm sorry, but I'm not about to be kissing you like this. That's so dead.
But
Few
what
inches.
if he does everything that you need him to do as a man,
Yeah.
but you're just dashing that based on aesthetics?
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I confirm it though. Because I know that good guys are
Sure.
Hold on, what you confirm
no,
a guy?
as in hard to come by.
You confirm a guy shorter than you?
Yeah, if I have back up against the wall, I can do it.
Nah, you can't.
I can.
No, I'm not saying you can't because you're you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying you shouldn't
Why should-
because you ain't tall.
This is why I
Exactly,
said how
so
tall
it's
is
alright.
she, innit?
Yeah, you ain't tall.
how
So
tall are you?
your guy's gonna be even shorter.
I'm 5'4".
That's what I'm saying. So you want a man shorter than you?
No. When I say shorter, yeah, it's shorter than what I want. So he's same height as me.
Okay.
Yeah, or like an inch taller, like that. Not like a 5'2", like a Tory
No,
Lanez.
that's what I'm saying. Not shorter than you is what I'm
I
saying.
can't do.
So you wouldn't. Wow.
It's a bit tight. I just, do you know what it is as well? I just think that God knows my heart. So why would you do that to me? Like,
No, but it's up to you who you fall in love with.
I think God puts him in my path.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe in all of that stuff. So for me, it's just like why? I don't think that's my story anyway. It's
I
like
hope not.
it's like dating Caucasian. It's not my story. I know it's not my story. I'm very sure of it.
All right, cool. So you're picking the which guy are you picking?
I'll let you go first. I need to still think about it.
I wanna root for the short guy because there's no negatives.
Not you,
other
your
than-
tall self.
That's semantics. But do you know what? Like, she didn't detail any negativity. It sounds like
No, there's one. No,
You don't like he hasn't
Huh?
made a move.
no, he's Jamaican.
I hope you put the camera on you when you said that. You didn't.
I did it.
Yo, I would've.
I did it.
nah. She because she didn't really list any negatives.
Yeah.
She just said he hasn't made a move, and the other two have.
That's
but
important, though.
he's still in the run-ins, and he hasn't even done that.
Okay.
So I feel like that puts him in an advanced position.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
All right. So we got over to you.
I can't lie to you. I think it depends how like because it's a few inches here, and I'm a girl, so I know that even when she's written this in, she's made this sound even a bit better than the reality. So it's probably like a foot
Yeah.
shorter than that.
What?
Wow.
I know how women exaggerate. I would do this. It's like when you show your friends pictures of you. You show the best. Do you know what I mean? I get it. I would personally, I would go with the Nigerian guy, but I can't ignore the fact that the child is 2. And in my Nigerian spirit too, I just feel him doing a dip back.
Oh.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because the child's 2.
No, they
Because
say
it's still
that-
fresh out
they
the
say
womb.
child under 5.
Yeah.
They're still
Yeah.
very much.
Okay.
It's still fresh out the womb, man.
Okay.
That's a dip back. And if they get on well as well, which obviously is good, it's a good thing to get on really well. But
What
bit tight,
percentage of guys or girls are sleeping with their baby mother or fathers? Do you reckon?
I reckon at least half.
Okay.
I reckon at least half. Because you know it doesn't have to be regular. It could just be one time in
Yeah.
but it's definitely happened since you guys said you were broken up.
Yeah, because they're probably the easiest person for you to sleep with.
Yeah.
You have a history, you have a child,
Yeah.
you have regular contact.
And you have moments where you take the child out and it's a nice night,
Yeah.
he carries the child into the house and it's like, oh, it's really late. Are you sure you don't want to stay over? Like, it's a whole thing. Do you get what I mean? It's just, the temptation is just too present, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I would say, I'm actually going to say go for the Jamaican guy.
Okay.
Oh, you changed your mind?
I would say go for that. Just because my spirit is really telling me this Nigerian guy.
All right, so it's 2-2.
Yeah.
Let's see what the poll says.
Let's get the comments to make the final choice.
So Brent put up a poll.
Oh, did you put a poll?
The guy number one has 11%, which is the Nigerian guy. Y'all are racist in the comments because the
Haters.
Congolese guy has 0%.
Oh, was it?
Wow.
I told you.
That's useless.
No, but
it's
listen.
your fault. It's your fault.
No,
but-
don't vote.
It's your fault. It's your
2
fault.
baby mothers. Now you want to be number Trey.
man even said it.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
messy.
Number Trey. You can't be number
It's
Trey.
giving Nick Cannon.
Nah, you can't.
And then number 3, the Jamaican guy has 18%. And then the last option is boy. And 69% said boy. It's
Wait,
tight.
hold on. Who's the highest?
Jamaica.
Boy.
No,
Okay,
besides
so outside
boy.
of that, the
Jamaican.
Jamaican guy,
Jamaican.
18%.
Jamaican won.
You just voted, didn't it? Someone's voting at the moment as we speak. Yeah, the Jamaican guy won.
Okay, shout out to
But I
you.
will say, I can't lie to you, I can't ignore height if it's too evident. It's a sticky one. But let us know who you end up with, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if we helped, but
Also, if you want to send us pictures, just so we ain't gonna show it on air, but so we can react to it.
what? See the height's difference.
No, just face, height, build, clothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't. Want
Can I just ask, fellas, have you ever dismissed a woman because of her height?
it will be weight for you guys, wouldn't it?
I don't believe so, but I wouldn't date a girl who's really, 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 really short.
But she's really taught. First of all, that's so out of order.
Why?
That's what short girls want. Do you know their
No,
dream to have a
I
guy
said,
sort
I
of,
said, but I said really, 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 really short.
Okay, I guess, yeah. But then, okay, fair.
I don't think I'll date a girl who's really, really tall, really, really short.
I was going to say, would you date girls taller than you?
Taller than.
Okay, same height as you.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I would.
Same
yeah.
height, yes. Taller than, How much taller than?
You saw just hella big, you know.
You know what I mean? Like what? 6'8"? What you saying?
Do you know what I'm thinking here? Because when we went Leicester the other day, like when I was in between mugs and I was like, you are actually tall. Like I was
bare tall, innit?
proper tall. I didn't realize how tall they were. So I can't imagine you, like your partner.
Exactly.
You are having back pains trying to pick up the kids because that's wild.
That's what I'm saying. I think perfect height for me, give me like a 5'7", 5'8", 5'9". You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You man?
I did want someone who was taller than me, you know, like a lot taller.
The laughter is.
You know what I'm saying?
I really would have told you. And then you have to say a lot taller than me.
She was like, what, 5'11" and a half, you know? She's the 5'11" and a half. Let's just call it 6'4".
It was 6 foot.
Yes.
The image that's in my head is hilarious. It's bad.
I remember one time, let me not even tell you.
No,
the
tell
story.
us.
Please tell us.
It was her birthday, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Wait, was that we were about heels?
This is what I'm saying. She turns up in heels. I said, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Because now you're like 6'5".
The thing is, you look like a guy who would date a tall girl, you know?
Because I can.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Like, imagine E-Man turns up with his side bag and his jacket. just there, distinguished with his tall babes. I can see it.
But yeah, man, yeah. That's the end of the story.
The image in my head, I think you understand what I'm seeing in my head, yeah.
I'm picturing E-Man at the Ned with a polo shirt. The polo jumper and the leather jacket. And his babes.
Oh man.
With his little clutch.
You like racist, man. Oh man.
I'm getting hot.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you got me getting rid of my SPF. This is ridiculous.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Alright.
Yeah, be with the just let us know who you end up with, man.
Yeah, please do.
Oh, this is hilarious. But if you wanna, what was I gonna say? If you want to write in for asking for a friend or sis, what would you do? The number to send messages into and voice notes, anything you want to send in, is 075 6484 1073. And you can also email tdasubmissions@thenewblack.com. Do let us know what segment it's for as well. That usually helps. I've been trying to slow this down so Emma can get up. You don't have to get up?
No, yeah,
No,
control
Oh,
this.
okay. I was thinking, sir. But should we get into our last headlines for today?
Let's do it.
All right.
Exam results are projected to fall next year. So the exams watchdog Ofqual have confirmed that GCSE, AS and A-level grades are set to fall in England next year. Dr. Joe Saxton, who's the chief regulator, said they will be much closer to pre-pandemic levels after 3 years of adjustments, but pupils' grades will be protected from the disruption caused by the COVID pandemic. Schools have welcomed the announcement, but there's concern that disadvantaged pupils could lose out. Exams were cancelled in 2020 and 2021, and teacher-assessed grades led to a boom in top marks. This year's marking system was adjusted so that grades reflected a midway point between 2019 and 2021. Similar plans were put in place in Northern Ireland and Wales. Dr. Saxton said a return to pre-pandemic grading next year was the next step to getting back to normal. School closures in 2020 and 2021 lockdowns did not directly affect the courses of most students sitting GCSE and A-levels next year, but they did affect those pupils early in their school lives, and many will have experienced further disruption because of COVID last year. To counteract that disruption, Dr. Saxton says students taking exams in 2023 will be protected if their exam performance is a little lower than before the pandemic. She basically said grades achieved in pre-pandemic years by cohorts of students, along with their prior attainment data, broadly speaking. Therefore, if for example, a typical student who would have achieved the A grade in their A-level geography before the pandemic will be just as likely to get an A next summer, even if their performance in the assessment is a little weaker in 2023 than it would have been before the pandemic, if that makes sense.
I think they just let exams go. I feel like as stuff that happened during COVID and during Corona, whatever, has made people adapt the way of life. I think they should have adapted the way exams and stuff are working too, man. They could have come up with something, put their little heads together.
Yeah.
Just stressing kids out unprovoked.
And the next headline, or the last headline, is a trigger warning. And a pensioner has been given 30 years for murder. So a pensioner has just been jailed for at least 30 years after murdering his lover and their 3-year-old son more than 45 years ago in Britain's longest-running missing persons case. William McDowell, who's 80 now, was convicted by a jury at the High Court at Inverness of killing both Renee McRae and their infant son Andrew in November of 1976. Police have never found the bodies of the 36-year-old mother or her son, who was 3, with officers now urging the killer to disclose what he did with them so that they can be provided with the dignity they deserve. Passing a sentence after McDowell was found guilty of murder at the High Court, the judge, Lord Armstrong, told him these murders appear to have been premeditated, planned and carried out in the most calculated way, not a spontaneous event or spur of the moment. He added, these appear in effect to have been executions. You murdered your victims and then disposed of their bodies and personal effects, including the boy's pushchair. Wow. You then took steps to conceal the crimes you had committed. As well as being convicted of the murders of Renee and Andrew McRae, McDowell was also found guilty of attempting to defeat the ends of justice by disposing of their bodies and personal effects. Mrs. McRae, who was separated from her husband, had been having an affair with the married McDowell at the time she and Andrew, her son, disappeared. However, McDowell's wife, Rosemary, stood by him for decades and even pushed him into court earlier today in his wheelchair. And after 8 years, 8-year-old McDowell was convicted of their murder at the High Court in Inverness, she made a plea to him to reveal the whereabouts of their bodies.
So, let me get this straight. So he was married to this woman and her son. No, well, not married to the son, but was he married to this woman that he killed?
No, he was having an affair with her.
And his wife still stayed, despite the allegation that he killed her.
Yeah,
but the allegations came years later.
Yeah.
Okay, and then when so then she's then pleading like, where's the bodies and stuff?
Yeah, she's also asked, I guess, to just reveal the whereabouts and whatnot. But she's still stuck by him.
Maybe she said she was going to tell his wife.
Maybe.
What, the police have like a file of just old cases and they just flick through once in a while, saying, which one should we do today? Like,
yeah, I think because I think the cases are always being worked here, but just behind the scenes kind of, and then someone's like, oh, actually, they have a eureka moment.
Well, I think it's just certain things are just not closed. So if something new comes up, it's like, oh, okay, cool. This belongs to this case. You know what I'm saying?
That's so sad. So he's going to jail?
Yeah, he's going to jail, man.
He's going to die there.
For 30 years.
Yeah, he's going to die in jail for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe our next 2 years, mate. It's crazy.
And yeah, that's the end of the last headline.
All right, let's get into our outro. Show. Thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. Learned a lot.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and the biggest message, you guys, donate blood.
Yep.
Have these conversations.
Yep.
Be intentional when you date.
Yep.
Ask the question that needs to be asked.
100%.
And actually, I think when I get my thing done, I'm gonna come back in here and say that I've got it done and let you guys know what the result is, so you can. Yeah, I hope it's a easier process to do it, as in to get my genotype retested.
Just tell your GP you want a sickle cell screening.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, man.
So thank you guys as well for tuning in, our live crew. We appreciate you guys. Do share the video. You guys are doing really well with the likes. I love it. They've been consistent in the past few days. But if you haven't liked the video, do so now. It helps our algorithm. It helps, the video being shared, all that kind of stuff. Also, you can share it. The video stay up when we're done. Follow us on all our social media platforms. The day after TNB. Like, comment, share the videos. We're also on TikTok.
I got a quick question. Sorry.
Yeah.
What's it like for you flying?
It can be troublesome. It's you got to take extra precautions. You have to if sometimes I'll fly with oxygen.
Yeah.
But you don't even want that. Like, it's again the perception of things, because everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, why is he flying with oxygen? He looks normal, etc., etc. But then generally. The AC, I hate AC on the flights. I don't know why it's so high.
Boy.
Bruv, listen, coming back from Dubai, the AC was killing me.
It makes
I got sick the last day of Dubai, right? I was proper sick. They put me at the front of the airplane, which I was cool with because I had leg room, right? But the AC was killing me. I asked them for 2 blankets, yeah. I almost had a panic attack because I just wanted to get off the plane.
Just go off the plane,
I'm like, I need to get off the plane right now. I called, obviously I knew I couldn't get off.
Yeah.
But I called the attendant, I said, I'm feeling this type of way. I can't be here. Can you turn the AC off?
Yeah.
He did it for a bit, but he had to turn it back on because obviously I'm not the only person on the plane, right?
Yeah.
Fam, I was in distress and all the men were laughing at me because like, what's wrong with this guy, bro?
Yeah. The way men joke about
Yeah.
I couldn't handle it. Because I remember when Margs went on Free Shots and talking about he nearly died, when he passed on the train, man, these guys were laughing. I said, but this is how you don't do. So.
I was in distress. Like I had the blanket over my head.
Wow.
I was like this on the plane.
Bro.
I wanted
Just to be done.
I wanted to be done.
Yeah, just
get me off
there,
this
man.
plane right now.
What's the longest flight you've done?
12 hours.
Straight direct?
Yeah.
Was that a good flight for you, or was it like?
It wasn't a bad flight.
Is that okay? Where would you go?
I had a tracksuit, probably a coat as well.
Okay. Where were you going?
LA.
LA. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Now we've learned a lot, honestly. Like these are important conversations to have. I think sometimes we kind of can shy from conversations. So like I would feel. I know, like with my friend who had it, like I would feel awkward. I remember I visited him in the hospital once when he had a crisis.
How did you feel when you saw?
It was so sad, and he basically didn't want me to visit him because I guess he didn't want me to see him in that like vulnerable like that.
Feeble state, yeah.
But then I was like, nah, because you're my friend and I care about you, kind of thing. And it was just so sad, and he's so like lively and so bubbly, like he's just full of life. And it's weird, like whenever he has a crisis, it's like he's like so high up all the time, and he's just like down, and he's just like quiet, and he's just like, I'm having a crisis, and it's like you wouldn't hear from him for a while because obviously he's got to deal with that. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I think that's one of the hardest things to navigate as well, because you will just go quiet and you'll become a recluse because you're trying to recover.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be every minute on your phone responding to people.
Yeah.
And people also think that once you're out of hospital, you're okay.
Yeah.
But you're not. You still got like a 2-3 weweeks that you need to recover.
Wow.
And when you go into crisis, that's when you see who the real ones are as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because I was dating him, right? And I feel like because of that, he didn't feel like he wanted to, like couldn't carry on, which I obviously understand. Like this is your life kind of thing, but it was just so, it was very, very sad. And I've seen like videos as well. There was a girl, I can't remember her name now, and I remember like she was doing as a cry for help because again she wasn't getting help, and that guy, what was his name again? Sorry, Evan. Yeah, that's it. And he was like short, like around the time he passed away, and she was like, "Mate, someone's just passed away for this, and I'm actually in hospital as well, and I'm having to like, I'm being ignored, kind of thing." Yeah. It's just so sad, man.
When I think when lockdown just started, and Clubhouse was still a thing, we had a room for Sickle Cell. It went on for 8 hours. Never anticipated that, but one of our rooms, we had a girl who she wasn't getting attention for like an hour or so, and everyone in the room started atting the hospital. They saw to her within like 15 minutes.
Look at that. But that's the thing. How many people can do that? How many people are going to do that? Yeah, it's just a shame. Because the medical, it needs to change. I had a black GP because I've done my asthma reviews, and it was a black girl. And honestly, just even like I told her, I was like, I'm so proud of you for being like, for working hard to qualify and everything. And I said, honestly, I can't even tell you, but literally just me just speaking to you, I said, this has been a different experience, like for me, like just completely different. And I said to her, anytime I have an issue, I was like, what other things do you deal with? I'm coming back, kind of thing, because it's just a different, like she was listening to me, she was encouraging me, like she would even talk, like she would tell me things that was about like black bodies. So she and I got in a conversation about how like they teach them in medical school, and she was like, she's like, we don't learn about black bodies, like we don't, it's different for us. Things are different for us. It's just,
BMI, for example, is nothing to do with us.
Yeah, boy.
It's like it's crazy. And like, you know, going back to obviously I don't want to dwell too long, but 2008 when, you know, as I said, I had a life-saving blood transfusion.
Yeah.
Shout out Linda Sawyer, love her to death. She literally saved my life.
Oh, really?
If she wasn't there, I would have died.
Who is that? Is that
Sickle Cell nurse for Croydon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sad. But you'll be here many, 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 many more years.
Amen to
For the
that.
glory of God.
Amen.
And doing a great job. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So yeah, guys, we'll be back on Monday. Oh, if you want to inquire about the show or feature on the show, email the team the day after at thenewblack.com. Please share this video. This is something that everyone needs to, that we all need to be clued up on. And I think it was amazing for me that you said like in like 4 generations time, if we actually all are all intentional, we could be living in a very different world.
That's it.
And black people go through enough, man. Come on. Like, let's help each other where we can. So yeah, share this video, guys, and have a lovely weekend. And we'll be back here on Monday.
That's it.
See you then.
Goodbye.
Laters.